And we're live.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Painkiller already, episode 189. Got a big guest this week. We got Harley from Epic Mealtime. What's going on, brother?
Yeah. What up? For being here.
It's been a big week this week. Oh, thanks for coming on, man. We really appreciate you doing it. Woody, it has been a big week for us over here on PKA. Tell them the news.
God damn. We're like, I don't know, number one in the world. What's better than number one in the world on iTunes? Number 0? Is that us?
No, we are number one. There's nothing better than number one.
I believe it just says fucking awesome next to our podcast.
It's first or last.
There you go.
Yeah, we got all our episodes uploaded on iTunes, categorized. I think there's still some updates to come, like especially on the graphics work and maybe on some of the episode descriptions. But whenever iTunes updates, it's going to be, for the first time, the entire PKA catalog will be in one place, perfectly organized, perfectly categorized the way the creators originally intended it.
It's awesome. Yeah. And it's all because of this Patreon thing. Like, I'm pretty psyched about it. It's motivating to make the show as great as it can be. Land guests like Harley, etc.
The Patreon is awesome. So I don't even know how many people we've got involved with it now. It's almost 500 people have bought into the thing. So we really appreciate that from you guys. It's making the show bigger and better.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Did we book the next PKA adventure trip yet?
By book, do you mean
Everyone knows what book means. Like reserve.
I'm not familiar with that. I'm not familiar with that phrase.
Did you reserve the place yet? Did we lock in? Did we give anyone money?
No.
Okay.
No. I was waiting on... I don't remember what the final details were, but there was something else I needed before I could... But I'm almost there. I'm 7/8 of the way done with planning the trip. I've found I have the location we're going to be staying at, the house we're getting. I have the shooting day arranged. I have
shooting days, right?
Shooting days, yes.
Yeah, we changed it up. We were going to do 2 days at Six Flags and 1 day shooting, and then we thought subscribers would like the inverse of that. So that's what we're doing. Yeah.
So Woody's going to get to learn to shoot something out of the air with a shotgun finally.
You know, I've hit things in the air. I mean,
by the time it's over, you're going to be blindfolded, throwing paint cans over the back of your head and turning around and blowing them up into a fireball.
That would be awesome, because as it is now, if hypothetically you were to soar across my sky, you have like a 9 in 10 chance of surviving the ordeal. That's not good.
Yeah, we're gonna fix that up. And
I got a light for my shotgun.
Oh yeah, I saw you ordered it.
Do you want to go
ahead and grab your weapon? Yeah.
All right, hold on, I'll grab it.
Yeah,
Anybody wants to help out, they can go to PKA or patreon.com/PKA. Link in the description if you want to go be a part of what we're doing over there. Go to patreon.com/PKA. And as always, everybody that's a patron now, be sure we made some changes to make sure that you are where you want to be on your pledge tier. Just to make sure we made some changes for that.
Yeah, and like I always say, as much as we love it that you guys chip into that thing and make the show bigger and better, if you can't, we understand. And like I've been saying all along, because people get confused, nobody lost anything. The Patreon is all about giving like extra things. Nothing that everybody already had has changed in any way.
It's additive.
But, it's additive.
Right, we're bringing in shows. We're bringing in a midweek show. We're bringing in adventures. We're bringing in. We brought on iTunes. We have these milestones. We're gonna hopefully some point we go out there and meet you guys.
Yeah, but what I was going to say is, like, even if you don't have any money to donate, the biggest way you can help us is by going on iTunes, downloading that thing, and rating it. Those ratings over there are huge, and we have higher ratings than our size. Like, we do really well with that anyway, and a little push to that, and we're beating shows that have much bigger followings in some circles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Huge hit on iTunes, this show. Huge hit. It was good to see.
Yeah. I don't know.
The-
It's just really exciting to see the show kind of, take off, enter a second golden age. Just be a second show in a row that I think you guys are all going to say
you
like
unlocked
best
a free
ever.
tech? Did you get a free tech when you unlocked that golden age? Did you start it out? Did you have a great person?
We had a great person come by. Civ references. Yeah. Do we do our first sponsor now?
Yes, sponsoring the show this week are
the
Juicer Battery.
Indiegogo.
This is what we were talking about earlier. So this isn't just a battery pack. It's the thing that charges your battery like much faster, and gives you more battery life than standard. Apparently, that's their whole Indiegogo campaign. It should be linked down there. You can go check it out if you want to get involved with this. It looks pretty interesting if it can do what they claim, huh?
Yeah, the battery's supposed to charge faster and last longer. It's supposed to be the best smartphone battery ever. And they used some science words that I didn't quite understand. What did they say? They were altercating lithium-ion batteries?
Okay. I didn't see the altercating part. I saw lithium ion, which I'm familiar with.
I really zeroed in on that word. Yeah, altercating.
Altercating lithium ion, huh? I'm familiar with it. Yes, it's good stuff.
Altercating is a word, huh?
Because otherwise they wouldn't say it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got to be good. Otherwise, yeah, they wouldn't sell it. They wouldn't sell it as part of their. They wouldn't use it to sell their product if it wasn't the best.
Now we're making it seem like they're a scam. No, I think this thing really is cool, though. I think I'm going to get it. I may or may not get involved with this campaign. How much do I have to put in to get one of these? Because I want one.
At $45.
All right.
$45. They're claiming 30% faster charging and a battery life that's up to 50% longer.
I'm sorry.
All right, I'm getting...
At $35 you get in. At $40 you get at $45 you get a solar panel too, but at $35 you get the battery and the cable.
Shit.
Yeah.
We're going solar with this thing? So not only does it do it faster and better, it's clean energy.
You
Clean.
definitely got to do it solar. Like,
All right, I'm getting the solar package.
halfway.
Yeah. So yeah, juicer battery, Indiegogo, link in the description, link in the annotation on your screen, assuming annotations don't screw up. And yeah, anyway. Juicer
Harley.
battery. Best goddamn battery smartphones I've ever seen.
Tell us about what Epic Mealtime is doing, because it's big stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Epic Mealtime, we still do the Tuesday releases every single week. We do the instructional cooking show Handle It now on the weekend. But Epic Meal Empire is the TV show that we just wrapped, actually. Well, we didn't wrap. We're going to film 4 more episodes at the end of the month. But, yeah, Epic Meal Empire is basically the Epic Mealtime television show.
It's awesome. So the ideas for the shows, I know how that stuff kind of usually goes down. When you were giving them the episode ideas, the episode pitches and stuff, was that coming out of like an old notebook that you've just had for like over the years, just piling on epic meals and show ideas? Or did you come up with a whole new thing?
Tons of ideas rolling around, stuff like that. But really, like, I went into like a bunch of networks and I was like, listen, it's like Fantasy Factory and Duck Dynasty mixed together. That's that's so sick. I'm like, yeah. And then I left and I was like, shit, I've never seen either of those shows. Like, I don't even watch television, so I don't know Fantasy Factory. I don't know, Duck Dynasty. I've never
Well, they
watched.
got the beards. They've got the beards, and you've got a beard. So
That's it. That's why I was like, oh yeah, it's like Duck Dynasty. Like, basically, I'm like, you'll see some beards, basically.
yeah, maybe you can go on a racist rant or two. Really drive it
no.
home that you're homage.
Well, no, we avoided that part.
Yeah.
And then also the same thing with Fantasy Factory. I was just like, I think they have fun on that show, and we're gonna have fun. So it's pretty much the same thing.
That's awesome.
Well, he's right, because they do have fun with the fulfilling fantasies. Are you going to be fulfilling fantasies on the show?
That's what he does
Actually,
after the
great
show.
question. We will be fulfilling fantasies. On Epic Mealtime, it was all about fulfilling, culinary fantasies. So on Epic Meal Empire, we'll be fulfilling sexual fantasies as well. So we're going to be giving hand jobs to. No, I'm joking. None of
I
that's
just want to
true.
be a guest on the show.
They filmed this show at my house on the weekend.
Yeah. We're just going to your house. You guys are the first episode.
Nice.
No, actually, that's Epic Sex Time. I reserved that domain name like right away, like in the first year of Epic Mealtime. I was like, Epic Sex Time, in case it ever gets to that point. But yeah, exactly. Right away, had a backup plan. Yeah, the show. I mean, it's been crazy. It's basically fulfilling fantasies to an extent. It's a reality show ultimately. Nothing scripted though. Like we just, we completely we're buddies. Like we all, hang out and talk and do this food shit. We've been doing it for 4 years. So now when the TV show is rolling, it's really just better cameras, but we're still, ourselves, and we're still, doing our thing. And we get approached by a client who wants to do like an epic meal. So like a car salesman wants an epic meal to show appreciation to his customers. So we make him the little bread Corvette, which is like a fully like edible, drivable car that we made. That like I sit in and drive, literally drive it into his mouth. Well, not into his mouth, but pretty much right in front of him, and then we all eat the car. And we do a meal for an elementary school teacher who wants to like show her kids like like fun food, and so we make stuff that kids like, and it's the Tot Bot, which is like a robot made of tater tots and grilled cheese sandwiches and stuff.
Where do you see it?
We go huge. Like, you guys saw the Diet Coke Mentos suit. Like, the Mentos suit where we took a guy in a Mentos suit and dropped him in a Diet Coke dunk tank. Like, we're obviously going way bigger than we do on the internet.
Where? Like, what channel is it on?
Mostly because it's other people's money.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is that one of the biggest differences from the internet show to this? Is having the budget there to be like, yeah, we're going to build a car out of food.
Yeah, like, on the internet, it's always like, well, if we make this meal for $800 instead of $1,100, then we're putting, $300 towards that new lens that we kind of want. So we're making that decision. Whereas on TV, it's like, here's all this money. Spend every penny of it.
We don't want any back.
Don't let us see any money. There better not be any fucking money left, and there better be a good show. So that's it. It was just like, well, now we can go all out. We bought an ambulance in the first episode, and I get it all murdered out, which means it's all black, and it's the ambulance, and we attach a burger turret to the roof.
That's wonderful. That's the greatest thing I've ever
I
heard.
gotta tell you, I was really fucked up. I was like really fucked up, and I was just like doodling shit, like brainstorming, but I was ultimately just fucked up around a whiteboard. So I was drawing like an ambulance. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like this, and I kind of, when I pitched the show, also I pitched it a lot like Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Just, I don't know, that kind of buzz.
That's what I imagined when you described the ambulance. I imagined the Ghostbusters ride, like with that.
Yeah, it's like that, which I think was called the Ecto One. Or something like that. But I pitched it. I was like, yeah, we're gonna be. It's basically like Fantasy Factory and Duck Dynasty, except we're the Ghostbusters, and it's food for everyone. It's a cooking show. So.
Oh, imagine proton packs that shoot out condiments.
Yeah, they shoot out different condiments, nacho cheese, relish, and all that different stuff. You just want to shoot it on people.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we do have a pack. If you check out my Vine, I show off the like hot sauce backpack. It's like a full backpack with like a gun that sprays hot sauce. Literally, that's it. It's like a hot sauce backpack. Yeah, and I first I was like, we should have like a girl, like the Ghostbusters had Janine, and we since we're from Canada and the show takes place in LA, we get like a girl on the show to like show us around. You know what I mean? Like get us our clients and stuff like that. But yeah, hot sauce backpack. We make a fucking edible piñata that's like in the shape of a guitar for a mariachi band, and it's like 10 feet, and it's suspended in the air, and yeah, it's been crazy. The show's been nuts, man. Like,
you said you're doing 4 more episodes later. How many have you already shot?
We shot 16 episodes in a 1-hour special.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
And with these 4 on top of it.
Oh, all right. Yeah, you got the whole season done.
So who's doing your distribution? You said you talked to networks. Who's picking it up?
So the show is going to be on FYI. So on July, Bio channel is now FYI. It used to be called Bio, and our show starts July 26th at 10 p.m. And that network just launched this month.
Okay, so Saturday night, July 26th at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
All right. It's half-hour show?
Yeah, half-hour show.
All right. It's gonna be interesting to see 22 minutes of epic meal. Oh.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I mean, the show starts off with like an epic meal, like an homage to the internet show.
Yeah, I like that.
And then it goes into like a reality show. It's essentially like every time I watch it, I'm like shit, we're on a reality show. I mean, you're filming it and you're doing your stuff, and then you realize like, oh yeah, like that was captured.
Do we see your universe kind of get expanded, like beyond the, just you and the guys that are normally on there? I mean, is it more?
Oh yeah, totally. My whole family comes in for one episode.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
I cater an episode to them, like just like my fat family.
One of my favorite stories from you was when you first brought, I think you brought like a suckling pig or something into your mom's kitchen.
Yeah.
And just having to deal with that. That was one of my favorite stories.
Yeah, she was like, she just thought like the Jewish community would write me off or something
Yeah.
for bringing a pig in the Jewish home and all that. And now it's funny because she's on Epic Meal Empire with like my grandfather and the whole family. It kind of revolves around a Jewish holiday where you fast for the day, and then they come back and get this ridiculous epic meal. And obviously, I hid some bacon in there.
Oh.
This is pretty big. I mean, because you guys have known Epic Mealtime since the dawn of Epic Mealtime. You guys have fucking been on it. We do on the TV show one episode for like a yoga class, like a yoga studio, and it's it's a full vegan meal.
Really?
Like 100%. I hear the disappointment in the silence.
Yeah, I know. What the fuck? Like,
I'm waiting for you to say, and they finish the meal and they love it, and then we show them the footage, and it's full of bacon grease.
Right.
Bacon juice.
Well, almost. Well, we made the meal is entirely vegan, but it's shaped like a pig. Like it's a gigantic pig, and it's fully vegan, 100% vegan. But inside in the middle is I hid like a bacon capsule. It's completely encapsulated in the middle of the pig.
Did you really?
Never mind. Yeah, I really did.
Yeah.
And then obviously when we fed all the vegans, they were like, "Oh, you guys should try it. You guys should try it." I was like, "No." And then I just order a pizza, Meat Lovers Pizza, and we're sitting there eating like delivery Meat Lovers Pizza while they're eating this first ever 100% vegan epic meal.
I'm vegan intolerant, so I couldn't have that meal.
You're vegan intolerant, so you would have to beat up everyone in that.
That's right. We just hit them. Try out my new shotgun light.
That's awesome, man. I'm happy for you. I'm looking forward to seeing this thing go big.
Yeah, dude, man, I want to bring you the burger turret. Like we stuff burritos in there and cupcakes in there and shit, and it's like basically a 12 cannon t-shirt gun, like CO2 powered, and like you like crank it, it's just like shooting out cupcakes and shit.
When I saw the Mentos suit, I was like, why has no one ever thought of this before? Like the coolest thing I've ever seen with Mentos was like, I don't know, I saw Furious Pete stuff like 5 in his mouth and then try to chug the Coke like that. Okay, that's kind of hardcore. But
yeah,
and I've seen people try to like get multiple ones in a 3-liter Coke or whatever. But I've never seen how many Mentos were strapped to his body, and how many.
We had like a box of Mentos, and we just like kept ripping them open and stuffing the suit in there. Really, the Diet Coke is a lot of bottles of Diet Coke.
Was it Amir?
No, that was Josh in the suit. Josh.
Oh, okay. I watched the GIF before anything, and
yeah, exactly, yeah.
And that thing blew up on Reddit, so that was really cool. And was it just pure Diet Coke in the thing?
Yeah, that's all Diet Coke in there. A lot of it, like a lot of Diet Coke.
What else is in it?
And a lot of things that, like, oh, it doesn't work if it's the colorful Mentos. Only the mint ones work. It was on Mythbusters or something. That's what everyone was saying. But we tried it before we did it. Like we took mint ones, and we took colored Mentos, and they both fucking explode with Diet Coke. Like, there's no two ways around it.
Whose idea was that?
That's not my idea. In terms of like brainstorming, you sit down like the Epic Meal guys. We sit down with the producer and a writer, and we sit down and we just kind of keep going and brainstorming and doing it. And so it gets passed around. Although on set, like once the Vine of it got 50 million views when I put it up, like then on set everyone was all like, "Oh, I can't believe it, my idea. It was my idea. It was my idea." Everyone was like, "Dude, my idea." Can't believe it. 50 million views. Yeah, sick.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Has there been anything they told you couldn't do? Is there anything where you're like, "Oh, let's do this," and the network said, "No, that's too much"?
Yeah, a lot of that. A lot of it revolves. To be honest with you, a lot of it revolves around guns. I don't know. I guess like Canadian, we like guns are literally to me like a YouTube channel. You know what I mean? Something I'll check out. And so it's also like I play a lot of video games, so guns are humorous to me. Like the whole concept of Epic Mealtime spawned when I saw this like picture with like pizza and like a Happy Meal on top of it and a stack of money and a gun. And I just thought that was so hilarious. Like, and the gun like was part of that. And so when we did an episode where we did a photo shoot like for a sexy calendar, and Amir really wanted to have like a huge gun, but they weren't down with the gun. Like it had to be like a pizza cutter. And so, I mean, that's the extent of it, of, the nose. Even at the beginning, I'm always like, oh, this, and I'll be holding a gun. Like, what? And they're like, no guns. I'm like, oh, like exactly like that. But imagine everyone was holding like a gat. And they're always like,
So you're just throwing guns into everything. They're like, let's do this. Like, yeah, let's do that with guns.
Yeah, we have a sword wall. A wall of swords. That was supposed to be guns. I mean, the swords are... Don't get me wrong, there's like a chainsaw there and a war blade and all that, and like some samurai swords, but it was supposed to be a gun wall.
Damn.
This thing sounds awesome.
Keeping you down.
Yeah, and then another thing is for the intro for the show, it's just been so hard. Like, you want to pick like the perfect song, and I really did try to get "Livin' La Vida Loca" as the theme song, and they weren't having it. But I tried really, really hard. I don't know if everyone would get it.
What do you have to pay to get that?
I do.
What's that run? What does that run to get the rights to that?
Can't be much. He's hurting for money.
They squashed it right away, but I think something like that for like the show could be like $50,000 an episode, or it could be like $20,000 an episode
per episode. Goodness.
Yeah, well, we want it to air everywhere, so like worldwide.
For the song we're still talking about?
Yeah, for the song. So like you want to clear it for worldwide, and it's just
I had no idea it cost that
La
much.
Vida Loca is no joke.
I don't want to hear
It's a big deal, Woody.
I don't want to hear anything else about piracy from the music industry. If you can still get 20 G's an episode for living La Vida Loca, oh Napster, no.
Well, don't quote me on that, but I know like music runs up to like 20,000 per episode, so 50,000 per episode.
Maybe Ricky Martin's hurting. Maybe we can get it a little cheaper. You never know.
Yeah, listen, Ricky Martin might do it for like $1,000 cash.
Maybe not cash. Maybe prefer something else. You
I was
never know.
gonna say Ricky Martin do it for one blowy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, Ricky Martin, I don't know if he owns Livin' La Vida Loca, so.
Probably not.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be awesome? Epic Meal Empire, and the theme song is Livin' La Vida Loca. I know it's funny, like at least.
Is there a background to Living La Vida Loca that I'm not getting?
No,
Just
it's
the
literally
song being amazing.
just Ricky Martin's song. There's nothing to it. It's just the show starts with a Ricky Martin song. It's kind of like
the '90s great?
Oh
you're
yeah,
like, why?
90s were fantastic.
Weren't they? They legitimately were. I realized it during the '90s. I was still pretty young. I'm only 28, so don't let me fool you. I'm not that old. But I remember the '90s. I definitely remember the late '90s, and they were fucking awesome. Everything was good. Like Clinton was in office, and like the worst thing that was going on was the whole Monica Lewinsky thing was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But every time there was any kind of a world conflict, it seemed like he just bombed the shit out of them, and it was done. Like maybe that wasn't the far-reaching reality of the whole thing, but like it was pretty peaceful then.
Peace and prosperity. Yeah, that was a good idea.
That's what
we should try that again.
Dude, I'm 28 also. We're old-ass motherfuckers. I don't know what you're thinking.
People on YouTube are older than subs might guess. Like, I think a lot of times subs are like, yeah, me and like C-Nanners were like the same age. Or no, C-Nanners is 30, dude. He's not. he's a grown-up.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys on YouTube are full-fledged grown-ups, more so than subscribers realize.
I pay taxes and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got responsibilities, bills. It's crazy.
I've got a passport.
I gotta tell you, like, if you've been on YouTube for like a couple of years, you just become a grown-ass man. After enough time making the videos, you just realize that there's a lot of responsibility to it. A lot of people that you work with and things like that. You learn some serious grown-up lessons really quickly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like reading contracts and stuff. Oh crap! Okay, this stuff means stuff now. Wow.
Like taxes, man. Fucking taxes. Adult shit. Grown man shit.
So here's you've probably never heard this, Harley, but my thing about taxes is this. If I'm going to pay, I'm not going to be crude and say how much taxes I pay, but I paid so much taxes one year that I calculated it up, and it could have paid for a guided missile that the United States shoots. And I was thinking, I wouldn't have minded writing that check so bad if, in fact, all of my money went to one of those guided missiles. And I just got to know that that's what my money went to. So when I pay my taxes...
But even sign that guided missile.
Yeah, maybe I sign it.
I want to press the button. I want to, like, all right,
No,
what do I
I
type
don't need
here?
that. I don't expect that. No, I don't
Like,
expect
it
that.
should have a little plaque on it that says "Donated by Kyle."
Yes, yes, that. Let me like or maybe there's like some sort of online template that I can use to like custom design mine. Maybe I send like a tie-dye warhead into Pakistan, and maybe as part of my taxes, like maybe if I pay like 1% extra, maybe I get the footage from that cruise missile when it was shot.
I want to be there in camos, like at HQ, right? A little bit behind the front lines, and then they just tell me what to type, hit enter, launch that thing. That would be cool. That would be a good
You want
value.
to actually fire the missile at the Pakistanis.
I bought the missile. Why should you shoot it?
Or
You see
what
what-
other group that the CIA has decided to whack that day.
Yeah, or it's like you like get a picture of Israel and it's like your money went to fund Israel. Here you go. So you guys are
Wouldn't that
assuming
suck?
great things, but what happens when you get the thing in the mail? It's like you bought 3,500 paid cell phones, prepaid cell phones for people on welfare. Thank you for your tax
I would
bill.
much rather send a portion of my money to Israel than I would some of the other places it goes.
I don't know, man. I don't think we should fund Israel anymore. Screw
Yeah,
that.
I think Israel. Yeah, well, if you would think
Firing
that, but-
artillery on kids. What are we doing?
Look, man, they've got a whole different kind of war going on over there that I don't get, that I don't want to be a part of, and I don't judge. They've got like some Native American pilgrim shit going on that I can't even comprehend, so I just stay out of that. That
Harley?
shit goes back thousands of years.
Harley's our
No.
token Jewish person on the show this week. You pro-Israel?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that I notice now talking about religion is like,
Is he breaking up for
if
everybody?
you ever want to do it, just have over face.
Oh no, he's breaking up. The Google servers the server monsters are getting him.
Oh,
Harley, fight it.
fight Harley. I'll tell you though, he's looking good on my screen.
He does. Got
He
a
fills that
mozzarella
screen
exposed
well.
cap.
Dreaming about that beard right there. Oh, now he's back.
such
He's
a-
back. Screw it.
What happened? Did I cut out there?
Yeah, you
Yeah, I
did.
think you're good now, though.
I think
Yeah,
you were
you're
trying
good.
to say that you don't talk about religion.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say it's all religion's just like go to Facebook, like that's where all the religion talk is. Everyone feels like voicing their most religious, their concerns about religion, like always on Facebook and stuff like that. I mean, I can't. I'm in no way prepared to launch into a discussion about Israel or anything around it.
Yeah,
It's not even a good idea.
I'm 100% uneducated on the topic, but cocked and loaded. Let's go.
Yeah, that's never stopped me from talking about something before.
Yeah. No,
That's
what
what
do you
the show
want
is
to
all
know?
about. We talk
You
about
need
shit we know nothing
statistics? I
about.
keep them right here in my ass.
I know that
Well,
there's.
one thing's for sure is I do know Israel doesn't fire on children. That's one thing. Like it's like a real legit country. They don't fire on children, but there's always
Not on purpose.
collateral damage and stuff like this, things like this, and the reason why I think also a lot of sympathy that never happens with Israel is like Israel kind of has their shit together, so it's not like a lot of deaths happen in Israel compared to the surrounding countries, just because they have their shit together and it almost works against them. You know what I mean? They spend a lot of money on not having collateral damage and saving their own people and protecting their own people. And, it's all over there. It's just, it really is a huge shit show.
Have you heard of the roof knocked missiles?
Yeah, they do those. That's that's one, like the scariest thing ever. And two, you're kind of like, oh, isn't that nice?
So, yeah, let me-
So what are these, Woody? What are you talking about?
Here's
What?
what they do, right? First
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
let's say you're living in some apartment and Israel's identified you as a bad guy. They call you on the phone and say, hey, we're about to bomb your apartment. You should get out. And then like 10 minutes later, they bomb their apartment with a non-explosive bomb. They send like a warning bomb and it like damages it and stuff. And you might get hurt. I mean, it looked like a big deal, but hopefully you look at it and you're like, holy smokes, they really are serious. They called me. They sent a non-explosive missile in here. And then after, like 10 minutes after that, they send an actual bomb in and level the building. So they give you 2 warnings to get out before they bomb you.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
it.
they
You gotta love that it's that accurate that they can do that.
Is Is it bad that I just had what I think is an equal parts great and equal parts awful idea for a crank call series? You start calling Palestine, pretending to be an Israeli representative, and you're just like, guess what, Hamas? We're coming to get you.
Hi, is this 177 Habajajad Street? Yeah, we're okay. Yeah, we're about to send one of these roof knock missiles in, just so you know. And just like have a sound effect. Yep, we just launched. It's on the way. It's moving at about Mach 5. It's heading your way right now. It'd be funny to focus on.
Those guys do swatting for real.
Although maybe a little insensitive in the current global climate.
Maybe it might be a little bit too much. It was just an idea that I had, not married to it by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, but that's the craziest part is that, like, that's got to be so fucking scary. Like, just imagine you're on the 3rd floor, and like just terrorists happen to post up in your apartment building, like on the 1st and 2nd floor, and you get the call, and they're like, the whole building. Sorry, like the whole building. You're like, oh fuck, like I'm not even in this shit. And, like,
what about my security deposit? Can I get that back?
You're packing up your favorite stuff, and then fucking. Like you said, like a missile that doesn't blow up knocks on the roof, and that's got to scare the shit out of you.
I get hit with that motherfucker. Like, sure, it doesn't explode, but they just shot your house with a missile. If that thing is coming through the roof, it would hit me. It would hit me.
Yeah, people to have been hurt from them. Apparently, I think I've heard that.
Well, the one I saw on video, like it punctured the roof and maybe a floor or two. Like if you're unlucky enough that it hits your office chair, you're fucked.
Yeah, just because it doesn't explode doesn't mean it's not a fucking missile.
Yeah.
A big heavy metal thing. Yeah.
That's such there's so many little hotbeds in the world right now. I feel like we're getting sort of back into like a Cold War thing that like our generation didn't have to deal with. It was ending as I was born, and I feel like we're going back into a kind of a There's lots of little hot wars.
Right? There's a thing happening here. Like
it's the end of the fucking world, man.
It just feels like
YouTube's fault.
Yeah, get that creator studio crap out of here. Just let me go straight to Video Manager. What are you doing?
All this.
You know, I've noticed
sub boxes back.
Shit really started hitting the fan when they integrated Google Plus with the comments.
Oh.
Fuck them.
That was the first sign of the apocalypse, actually.
One of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
If you think about it, it's our current global climate is pretty similar to how it was during the height of the Cold War. You've got 2 or 3 major superpowers kind of posturing and like going back and forth. You got 3 or 4 small, by comparison, hot wars going on in the world, just kind of cooking off and bubbling over every now and then. And the major superpowers kind of poking and choosing the ones they want to support or not support, funding, weaponizing, and killing.
And North Korea's just sitting there, that one crazy guy that might go off at any moment. You don't know.
Yeah, he's a modern day like Fidel Castro or something.
And I'm just here in Canada like, shit, the weather's pretty nice, actually.
In July.
Yeah, it's July, that's right. That's the biggest thing, though. Honestly, that's one thing I do stop and appreciate. That, like, you know, we were talking about Israel-Palestine a minute ago, that we're not from there. We don't live there. Like,
that's a concern for us. Like
not have
worst thing that could happen in my day
right
is like,
outside your door is something that, like, you know, should be appreciated all the time. Because that's crazy. For that to be a regular part of life, like bombs going off around you.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy to think
No,
about.
no,
Like,
you guys are all acting like
your
it's
night
no
spots?
big deal. My investment portfolio went down by 0.25% today because of that airplane shooting.
oh wow.
I thought
I'm
gold
hurt,
spiked,
too.
though. So you weren't in gold? Well, that's your
That's the
fault.
worst
my
thing
friend.
I've ever heard you say.
What'd
And you know it.
What'd you say, Kyle?
I said that is the worst thing I've ever heard you say.
Oh, stick
Ever.
around.
You just cooked that little joke off like a nasty fart in a car and waited for it to seep in. Like that's the meanest joke ever. For those of you who don't know, the flight that went missing a few months back. What airline was that from?
Malaysian Airlines or something like that.
Well, they're back at it, folks, with their ridiculous tragedies. They were flying from some flight from like Amsterdam to Istanbul, I want to say.
Kuala Lumpur.
Kuala Lumpur, thank you. Apparently, that trajectory brings you right over the Crimea region of the Ukraine, which is in dispute right now, with Russia on one side trying to get hold of it, and Ukraine on the other side trying to keep hold of it, and the rebels who occupy it fighting the Ukraine. Well, today they fired a Russian surface-to-air heat-seeking missile at what they thought, and probably was, a Ukrainian military aircraft. But the way heat-seeking missiles work is they lock onto the biggest, hottest thing, and there just happened to be a Malaysian Airlines flight flying over. It locked onto that, took it out of the air, and I'm sorry I don't know the exact figure, but I think it's like 254 passengers dead and maybe 14 to 20 crew members dead.
In my investment portfolio.
And Woody's investment portfolio.
He drives back around. He got away with it the first time. Kyle chastised him. He turned that corner a couple times. I'm coming back. I gotta get another one in. That's rough, Woody. Wow.
But seriously, that's
It's
that's
terrible.
horrible.
I joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a serious surface-to-air missile to clip a plane that's flying it. Because the good thing I found in the 24-hour news cycle when people were trying to talk about it and there was nothing to talk about, and they had somebody on who knew about how flight plans, and they say, well, if it's going from Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur, right around where they lost contact, it was probably at 32,000 feet, whatever its normal flying altitude is. And it's like the only thing that can get that, this isn't some rebel group that got their hands on a Stinger missile or something. This is a serious mobile SAM thing, surface-to-air missile that got these.
Is the climate right now talking about this plane in a really big way? Like,
I think it's a global news story that's blowing up right now.
Oh, for all I know, everyone's really sensitive about my joke. Now I'm nervous.
They might be, but I just deal with it. It's okay.
This is a joke. This is
like last time I hit
podcast.
CNN. Let me see what CNN's cover is right now, because earlier it was this gloom and doom. The U.S. is sending aid and support. John McCain's talking about retaliation.
Last time I watched CNN was like 2008. I don't really know what they're freaking out about now. I think.
Yeah, and oddly enough, in 2008 they were still looking for MH370. They were like, "We're coming up next. We think we found it again." Everybody's been talking about it. It's crazy because nobody knows. At least as of right now, nobody knows who shot it down. Like, was it
I do. Yes.
Oh, was it the Russians?
No.
Yeah, I know. It came out today. So the leader of the rebel group in that region of the Crimea, I don't know what they've named themselves, like the People's Republic of whatever the fuck, but the guy who's running that.
I hope that's their name.
Sounds like a good rap name.
That guy, he posted on the Russian equivalent of Facebook like 30 minutes after it happened. Just hang with me, whatever it's called, the Russian version of Facebook. He posted on there, like right after it happened, something along the lines of, we warned you not to come into our airspace. We just shot down and he gave like the designation of a military jet. He's like, we just shot down like an M102R. We warned you not to come into our airspace. We shot the bird down with a surface-to-air missile. The bird is down. And then I think it came out that it was an airliner that went down, and he quickly deleted his Facebook post.
Oh, no!
That's a thing that happened. A global leader just bragged about shooting down an enemy aircraft on Facebook and had to delete it really quick when it turned out he fucked up and shot down an airliner.
We're now being led by the Twitter generation. This is nightmare. This is not good.
If you delete the tweet, it didn't happen. Did he claim he was hacked? Like, I was hacked. Oh my god. Again, I'm sorry.
right.
Whoopsies.
So he needs to follow Kyle's plan and immediately post 6 more porn sites and a bunch of other things, so it's really clear that he was hacked.
Somebody
and not just
hacked
one mistake.
my Twitter, and that controls my rocket launcher.
I like the idea more that it's like, we let the interns run the surface-to-air missiles.
Right.
Yeah, they've been reprimanded.
They've been handled. They've been punished. I was like,
desk duty while we perform an investigation.
American Apparel on July 4th, they had put up a Challenger exploding picture, a picture of the space.
Oh god, I saw that. What were they thinking?
They were like fireworks, and then everyone's like, "Are you fucking kidding?" And then they released an apology on Twitter that was like, "It was an intern. They weren't alive when the Challenger happened, so they didn't know any better." Like, you fucking idiot! You don't have to be alive.
Yeah,
right.
That's not what fireworks look like.
Yeah, you don't see me posting Hindenburg pictures.
Most expensive fireworks ever.
Yeah, actually, we're pretty close to it. Yeah. So yeah, like the front page of CNN.com right now is missile down jet U.S. says, and Israel quote, we will continue to hit Hamas hard, and then like a missile attack going on. So yeah,
Israel began offensive treks into the Gaza Strip now. Like they're putting troops on the ground. Yeah, they're not playing around.
Yeah, they're shelling too.
Just how do you wake up and go on about your day there? Like, what if you're like a barista at a local coffee shop and you're just trying to live your life? You were born Israeli or you were born Palestinian, and you're just trying to live your life, and you just want to go do regular Palestinian or Israeli things, and then there's people trying to kill you constantly.
Which, for the most part, is actually the same
shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same.
Just want to go to discotecas and all that stuff.
Yeah, but they go and pray to the Wailing Wall in Israel, and like on the other side of the wall, they're doing the exact same thing. I've been to Israel. I went to Israel in 2003. It's pretty interesting. When you're 18 years old and you're Jewish, you get a free trip to Israel, no matter where you live. Like, Israel will fly you to Israel, and they will show you Israel, and it's actually like incredibly beautiful. It's crazy. Like, what do people do there? Like, they go about their day. Palestine, Israel, like, you go about your day. It's just that there may be bombs. Like, a bus may explode. There's always a threat. Like, RPGs, like, at night, like, RPGs, like, fly over the wall. You know what I mean? And, like, they get shot down, and some of them make it, and some of them explode, and whatever. Wherever you are in Israel, Israel will fly you there for free if you're 18 years old and Jewish, and they show you how beautiful Israel is, and then, like, on the last 2 days, they, like, hardcore full court press, like, explain to you how valuable it would be if you came to Israel and moved to Israel and joined the army.
Wow. Were you tempted even a little?
You get there and you have, like, an attachment. I'm like, oh shit, like, I'm Jewish, and, like, yeah, you never want something like the Holocaust to happen ever again, and, like, Jewish people need a place. And then you get there, and then really it's just like, well, at the same time I identify as a Canadian, and I have a friend who went for the press. I don't want to go to war. You know what I mean? I don't want to shoot anyone.
When I was a swimmer in college, and one of my teammates, his name was
Speedo. Speedo.
Fuck you! I looked awesome in a Speedo.
Send me a picture. Send a picture of that dick in a Speedo. Sorry, continue.
I'm thinking, where are my pictures? I might be able to do that for you.
Where's my Speedo?
I can get that done, maybe on the show.
Hammer time, motherfucker.
But anyway, yeah, his name was Zeev, and he did that. They flew him to Israel, and he went there. He loved it, and he actually enrolled in the army. So the press works, I guess, sometimes.
Shit, it does. Yeah, I don't doubt that it does. Like, it's got to. I mean, they wouldn't spend all the money on it if it didn't.
Mm-hmm. Israel's a really interesting country. Do you guys have you guys seen the movie Munich, or if not, are you familiar with the events of what happened at the Munich Olympics?
Yeah. Yes and yes.
Woody, Lefty?
No, I've not seen the movie, but I am somewhat familiar with what happened at the Munich Olympics, yes.
Yeah,
where are you too. So, for those that don't know, at the 72 Summer Olympics, this Palestinian terrorist group stormed into the Munich, they call it something village.
Olympic Village?
The Olympic Village. They took a bunch of the Israeli athletes hostage, and long story short, it all went badly, and they killed them all. They killed them all, and all the terrorists died too. And so after that, that's where the events of the film Munich come in. And it's about this operation that the Israelis began called Operation Wrath of God, where they said, we're going to find everybody who had anything to do with this thing that came and hurt our people and embarrassed us on the world stage and, hurt us this badly. We're going to find anybody who had anything to do with it, and we're going to send a crew of professionals in, and we're going to kill them. Whatever it takes. We'll blow them up. We'll shoot them. We'll poison them. Anything, everything. Kill them all. And when another head pops up, we cut that one off too. And that it's directed by Steven Spielberg. It's really, really good.
Americans love that shit, don't we? When someone does wrong to America, like, We get excited about our military. It's like our football team's about to play this weekend. Like, you know, you think we like the Dallas Cowboys? They're all right. You think that we like, you know, the New York Giants? They're cool, I guess. The Yankees, whatever. The fucking team that all of America roots for is our armed services. The moment someone gives us a half-decent excuse to kill someone, we're so jazzed up about it. President Bush was one of the worst presidents in the history of the world. He had a 98% approval rating when he went to war. 98%. That's gigantic. We love a good war.
Here's why. So we've all seen the statistics. We've all seen before Jay Leno finally fucking retired how stupid people on the street are. America's fallen behind in a few categories out there. Okay, I'm not going to name any particular. Many of them are educational though, and so we've fallen behind in a lot of these categories. Not number 1, not number 5, not even number 25 in a lot of these categories. But there's one category where we are unequivocally number 1. Like nobody comes close, not even a little bit. You pile everybody together and they're almost there, but not quite. And that's military might, because we don't care what it fucking costs. The military budget that we're aware of, the however many $1 trillion a year it is, it's like $1 trillion or something, right?
That's where we start.
That's where we start. That's what they admit to. But anytime you look into any kind of like the cool shit, like the X series of like fighter planes and stealth shit they've got right now, like everybody's talking about how the X-35 has failed and they literally wasted like $1 trillion on this project. We don't care. That was just one of our $1 trillion projects. Like that was the one that failed. The other ones you won't know about for another 15 years. Just like, I mean, we didn't know about the F-117 stealth stuff until not too long ago. They were flying that shit in '86.
Oh yeah, they in Iraq, or the first Iraq War, right? That was when they were first publicly talked about.
Yeah, because like it was a brand new thing that all of a sudden Bush is like, oh yeah, by the way, we got this plane that flies and nobody in the world can detect it, and it drops bombs that land within 3 feet of where we want them.
Yeah. United States of America, 37th place in fixing people, 1st place in breaking them.
Absolutely.
That's like when the F-16s first came out. As soon as they came out, Israel bought them when everyone else was just like, but no one's at war. no one needs these planes, and like Israel bought them, and the same week went and like bombed like an Iraqi nuclear power plant without like telling anyone or okaying it or anything. They literally like bought F-16s, flew over like that night, bombed the nuclear reactor, brought it back, and everyone was like, "What the fuck? Like you can't do that. Like you can't just buy off planes and use them like that."
I picture like Netanyahu or whoever's leading them nowadays, David Banner style. That's my secret. I'm always at war.
Yeah.
Have you heard about the Israeli program to take out the Iranian nuclear centrifuge?
No, what is it?
So here's what they did. Woody will be able to back me up if my computer science is a little bad here.
I'll try.
But they created something like a worm that they could release onto the open internet, and it would search out one particular individual's computer. And it was just out there. They flooded the internet with this worm. And what they were waiting on, and what happened was, there's this Iranian nuclear centrifuge. Now, this is the thing that turns uranium like 237 into uranium 235 or whatever. It's isolating the isotope of uranium that's good for making fuel rods and nuclear weapons. And of course, everybody thinks Iran wants a little bit of both, but probably mostly just the weapons. So Israel doesn't want this. They're in the region. They're close enough to literally nuke them with a short-range missile, which aren't that hard to get. They've got them. So they send this worm out. It goes out and it's looking for this one guy. And finally, what happens is one of the scientists who works at this secret nuclear facility, which is literally cut off from the grid. There are no wires that run to this place, no internet. He took his work home with him on a thumb drive, put it in his laptop. The worm found its way into that thumb drive. He took it back to the centrifuge, injected it into the servers there. It went in and made a tiny alteration to how fast the centrifuge spins, just enough to make it destroy itself.
Yeah, I read about this. When I read about it, I think I might have saw a YouTube video. I forget where I learned, but I thought the U.S. played a role in it, and he's right. It was like a virus that infected millions and millions of computers but only damaged nuclear centrifuges. So everyone had it and didn't know or care. And eventually they managed to infect this Iranian thing, and the centrifuge is a spinning part, and the way I thought it worked is it made it off balance, but whatever it did, it made it so that the thing like spun itself to death and set the program back.
Fast, it may have been too fast and off balance or something like that, but it made it break itself. And we're not talking about something that's like, oh dang, we need a new new distributor cap. No, they did like an enormous amount of damage to something that's very sensitive and very expensive.
It's hard to get it back.
They can't afford to just get a new one. Like,
it's a neat story. Yeah.
That was one of the coolest, and that's the stuff we hear about. There's no telling what kind of evil, scary stuff they're up to behind the shadows. You know, there's got to be some satellites up there with like lasers or missiles on them, right? Some orbital cannons. That shit's up there, right?
We got fucking guns pointed to our heads right now.
Yeah, we have since the 50s.
Do we need a whole new topic?
Yeah, I guess so. Gloom and doom over. World politics over. Where do we go from here?
The one I have picked up is kind of politics, but it's funny. So, here's the deal. Meet Bill Cassidy. Cassidy is a state congressman from Louisiana and the leading contender to challenge Democratic incumbent Mary LaDrew. Anyway, he co-sponsored the Abstinence-Only Relocation Act, which would award the school state money for abstinence-only re-education programs. He's consistently...
Did you say re-education?
Yeah, but I added that myself. It's abstinence-only education as I read it more carefully. He consistently railed against the ACA's contraceptive mandate. So, his 17-year-old unmarried daughter, Cassidy, is now knocked up.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I hope she's on a fucking billboard. If I was his opponent, that would be my fucking campaign slogan. What's his name again?
William Cassidy? Let me double check that.
Bill Cassidy, yeah. William Cassidy can't take care of things at home. How's he supposed to take care of the state of Louisiana? And then like his like a pregnant lady holding her belly, frowning, like dun dun.
Yeah.
That's such bullshit. I heard somebody talking about it's somewhat related. They were talking about the fact that there's no heroin education. Now stick with me here. They said that 75% of heroin overdoses were caused because someone mixed another depressant with it, like alcohol. They said if there was a little bit of heroin education that said something besides heroin is deadly, don't do it or else. If they said, look, if you've got to do fucking heroin, don't ever mix it with alcohol. Like what if that was public knowledge?
They taught us that
75% of the overdoses would stop.
I learned that in school.
Thing.
Philip Seymour Hoffman would still be around, probably.
He'd still be.
They taught it to us in school. It was called the synergistic effect.
I think he had a lot of heroin. I think that was his thing.
Yeah, he did a whole lot.
How come no one's listening? You guys didn't learn this in school?
No, we didn't learn about heroin.
I heard you did that. I was actually shocked that you learned that. We got zero education in heroin in Canada.
Yeah,
I think heroin would probably be one of the last things they would educate us about.
Yeah, I didn't know what heroin was until I grew up and started watching movies about heroin.
New Jersey represent.
Blood in, blood out.
Heroin in my little town.
The only drug stuff I had was just don't do it because they're all awful for you.
Oh no, they taught us more than that. Like the synergistic effect and how alcohol multiplies the effect of a lot of things. Some guys would use it to their advantage. Really. Like, if you take alcohol with this, you only need half as much of that.
Little cough syrup, little Jack Daniels.
Or you could have the same amount of both and just get really fucked up.
That is the ratio.
Everything you do will just make you tired.
My takeaway from all the lessons, though, was like, it's really complicated. So, like, alcohol multiplies the effect of this, but it, like, counteracts the effect of that. And I just walked away a bad enough student that I was like, I think you shouldn't mix this stuff. You don't know what's going to go on.
You're like, okay, so I got my heroin over here and my liquid. We're good.
Yeah, so. like so. For example, apparently we know heroin and alcohol mix and it gets worse. What does heroin and ecstasy do, or what does ecstasy and pot do, or when you mix the different stuff? Well, like I'm not really sure what happens in each one.
Yeah,
I'm no chemist. I'm no pharmacist.
What do you think the pharmacists are back there all getting high on the different stuff? Like,
I bet pharmacists would know.
I dated that girl that time who considered herself like a mixologist, but for pills. She was, that's what she said. She's like, I'm a mixologist, but for pills. She was an Army. She had a couple of qualifications that were medical in nature. She was a registered nurse, and she was an Army medic, and she had some pharmacological training. So she kind of knew her stuff.
She was good at getting high.
Yeah, and she would make cocktails of pills that she would grind up this pill, grind up that pill, and she would add certain combinations and very specific combinations, and then she'd put them in a pill press, make a new pill that was like her relax and enjoy the evening pill, or her...
And she called it Viagra. He would be taking this X-Lax and Viagra mixture, and he would shit with a hard-on.
I was just reading today that cocaine and Viagra were a good combo. Apparently, cocaine makes you really horny, but impotent, whereas Viagra makes you potent. So if you take cocaine and Viagra together, you're a sexual dynamo. PKA stats.
Or your heart stops working.
That too.
No, because that's another thing. Apparently, like the thing that cocaine does that makes it like a risk for heart attack, Viagra undoes. So you can take cocaine more safely if you pop some Viagra with it.
I think we may have found the yarn with which we can unravel the why were Woody's parents always screwing mystery. We've just found it out a little bit. If we just start pulling. Next, we need to call your father and ask, what's your experience with either Viagra or cocaine?
Why either or? Why not and?
Well, you don't want to make him commit to like, yeah, I did Viagra and
cocaine. Add cocaine to anything.
Yeah. Cocaine, I feel like I'm only joking in these drug endorsements, but cocaine 10 years ago, everyone knew it was like the devil. It's going to kill you, rot your teeth. It takes down the best of the best. Hole in your nose, disgusting, whatever. I feel like it's making a social comeback. Like people don't look at cocaine like they did 10 years ago.
Yeah, although it's not like the 80s, like in movies in the 80s where there's just a pile of cocaine at the party and people could just go and grab some. I do feel like the culture is slowly going back towards that. And, I just see it like, you're looking in rap videos and stuff like that. Like, drugs is making a comeback in rap videos. For a while there, it was just killing. From, like, 2002 until, like, 2008 was, like, killing. And now it's in a weird place, like, 2008 to 2013. And I think we're getting to drugs now.
Call me old school. I still like a good killing more than drugs in my rap videos.
Especially good cop killing, too, in rap videos. I want to hear about that.
Yeah, I like pimpin' hoes, probably.
Or maybe in the club being tipsy, maybe? Yeah.
What's that?
I want to hear about everybody in the club and how they're tipsy. I want to know about everybody's state of being drunk or high in the club.
I want to hear terms for guns that I don't understand. Like, this is my deuce, this is my whatever. That's what I like in a good rap video.
Oh, you know what? You could probably help me with the reverse end of that. Why would someone refer to their gun as a calico?
Because that's a kind of gun, calico 9mm. It's like this little 9mm submachine gun with a cylindrical magazine that holds between 50 and 100 rounds. Really cool gun. If you ever watch Total Recall, it's the gun that like all the the law enforcement or military guys, like the bad guys that are after Schwarzenegger, that's what they're carrying. They're carrying calicos.
It has an interesting magazine that holds an extraordinary amount of bullets.
Yeah. Like if you imagine a spiral staircase, it's that full of bullets.
Yeah.
I always hear that. And I'm always like, I wonder what that is. Like, why? What's a calico?
50 Cent raps about a lot of like weapon-specific stuff. I think he's an actual gun guy. Like he talks about SKSs and shell catchers and night beams and shit like that.
Yeah, so for a while there, I remember like rappers were always talking about this and that, and they'd be like, triple beam. And I was like, what the fuck is a triple beam? And then I remember playing like some game or something where there was 3 red dots, and I was like, that is probably a triple beam.
I don't know what a triple beam is. I got no clue.
It's like the Predator thing?
Oh yeah, exactly. Like I played the latest Splinter Cell, and like he has a gun that's like it's 3 red dots instead of 1 red dot. Same within Battlefield. So I saw that and I was like, oh shit, that's probably what a triple beam is, because rapper was always talking about triple beams, and it would make sense that they, get like a fancier laser gun.
I've seen a guy who like set his up to be triple, like the Predator. Like that's what the laser on his gun is. It's the thing from Predator.
Yeah, so I think that's what triple beam is, whenever that's being referred to.
It's always funny when I see rappers like actually get caught with guns, like illegal ones, and it's just like, what the fuck were you thinking? Like how are you a rapper and you thought some illegal guns would be the way to really make yourself legit?
Yeah.
They're usually crappy guns too. Like this guy got caught with like a 22 or something. Like really? I'm embarrassed for you.
And a deuce is a pretty shitty gun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, but
Doesn't hurt
22
enough.
rimfire is a pretty powerful cartridge, isn't it?
No.
Or no? No.
It's the least powerful.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the
It's
long
readily
rifle
available.
one? What's that?
That's it. A 22 LR. It's
So there's a couple different versions. They all shoot out of, for the most part, they all shoot out of the same gun. There's like, it's just a different version of the same round that'll fire in almost all of them. The long rifle is the most powerful of them.
but it's not a strong whip. Yeah.
Yeah, it's for birds and squirrels and
Turtles.
stuff like that. Turtles, it'll sink a turtle to the bottom of the river. Holly, do you know about
Exactly.
that survival trip we went on? Do you know what we did?
No, I didn't.
Me and Woody went into like the fucking wilderness in North Carolina and tried to survive out there like Survivor Man.
We're gonna go 5 days. No food, no shelter.
I
Made it all night. Almost all night.
Somehow I got really fucking sick, started puking the first night, had to bail. It was bad. It was
What did
awful.
you do? How'd you start puking? Like what's
I don't know why exactly. I hadn't eaten anything all day, and there was a turtle in the river, and I was like, we're gonna eat that fucking turtle. So I shot the turtle, and I had to swim across the river to get to the turtle. So I swim across the river, and I'm not a swimmer. And when I got there, I was so exhausted that I was already starting to feel like lightheaded and sick to my stomach and nauseous. But I figured that was just from like no food and having like physically exerted myself. And then I get there and the turtle has sunk to the bottom of the water, and I realize that not only am I like this shitty feeling, but we don't have food now. And then I just started throwing up right about then, and I didn't stop until
Yeah, there was a turtle swimming in the current of a river. He may or may not have hit the turtle, but
I
it
hit
went
the turtle.
Yeah, it's conceivable that he did fire the gun.
I 100%
wait,
killed that
wait.
motherfucking turtle.
Yeah, there's no visual confirmation on turtle death.
I visually confirmed the death of the turtle.
You remember on Independence Day when the alien ship goes over the White House and just blasts the shit out of it?
Mhm.
Yes.
I feel like that's the equivalent of Kyle standing over a turtle and shooting a gun at it.
No, the turtle was like 20 yards away.
Like, it's not even a competition. It's the easiest thing. Like, it's like blasting a turtle with like a Desert Eagle or whatever it was you had is like the equivalent of a spaceship blasting the White House.
Do you want to see the
promise
gun? I have it.
I promise you, that fucking turtle was dead. Because so here's what had happened: there were two turtles basking in the sun on the top of the water, like getting some air, and their shells were poking up above the water. I picked the big one and I shot it. The other one, like when like the bullet impacted and it heard the gunshot, like quickly like swam under the water and left. The one I shot at just kind of floated there limp, and I shot it like once or twice more to make sure that it wasn't gonna swim away and that it was dead, and it just floated. Now what should have happened is Aquaman lifeguard Woody should have like Baywatched into that fucking water and like bird dogged that fucking turtle. Team effort. Not what happened. I had to bring home the bacon and put it in the pan. It was just too much for me. And I got really fucking sick. That was awful.
If you had
Yeah, I
hit the
gotta tell you,
turtle,
I've
I
had
would
turtle
have.
before. You would have been sick from the turtle. Like if you ate it, you would
I
have
was
been.
gonna eat the legs. You guys crack the shells and stuff, right?
Yeah, trust me. None of it's good, man. Oh, the legs.
Yeah, I was gonna cut the legs off and like cook them over.
Like, even think about it. Like you're hungry. Like what are you thinking? Like you're eating a turtle's leg. Like it's like a quarter the size of a small chicken wing.
I just wanted anything. I was so hungry. Like there were these tiny birds in the trees, and I mean tiny. Like I wouldn't have done any. I wouldn't have like plucked it. I'd have just put it in my mouth and chewed it up. It was so tiny, and I was like staring at it, like, do I want to kill you or not? And I
This
like
was the
pointed the
gun.
rifle at it, and I'm
The
just
cow
like,
shooted near a turtle.
But not even do I want to kill you. Do I want to eat you? Ozzy Osbourne.
yeah, it's such a tiny bird. I was like, do I even want to kill this thing?
Yes.
Just one bite.
Oh,
And there wasn't a lot of game. You guys were expecting there to be a lot more
nothing.
game, right?
yes, like So
there were no animals. It was like it was like they knew that there was a disaster coming and they fled the area.
They listen to the show. That's what they do. They all found out. They all
So
listen.
Kyle was in Georgia, and he's like, I look outside, and in like a 15-minute walk, I see 30 squirrels. It's going to be no problem. I can get you all the food you can eat. I'm like, all right, you do food, I'll do, forget what I was, like fire and shelter or something like that. And then we got there, and we just didn't see the squirrels that we hoped to see. It was harder than you might guess. But I think in the fall I see a lot of squirrels, and I think it'll go better.
Yeah, I think so too. We're going again. We're going again. We're going to take the UFC fighter Joe Lozon. I think is going to come along with us.
Yeah.
So we'll have some backup this time, and we're going to go back out there with minimal supplies again, and we're going to try to go the distance, and we're going to fucking do it.
Yes.
Do it in Canada, man. Do it in Canada. Let me come.
We
You
want to
can-
shoot some animals and eat them.
Do you want to come?
Like, I kind of do and I kind of don't.
Right? That's how we all feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really do, but like maybe in Canada. Like, I honestly, like, I don't know. Like, no offense, but like, I keep thinking of Deliverance with you guys.
No, the thing is, we're doing it in.
But like, I feel like Deliverance, and I feel like we would be the weird guys. You know what I mean?
It's the third week of September. I don't think that's good Canadian no shelter camping.
No, it's there's no such thing.
Yeah, I think you want to go in Georgia.
Yeah.
Dude, let me know.
Yeah, when is it?
It's third week of September, I think.
Third week of September.
Yeah, the date's kind of fixed because Joe, I guess, wants like 2 weeks to recover from his fight.
Yeah, that makes sense. Before he goes off into the woods, doesn't eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Hopefully nothing breaks or anything. Sometimes fighters break their hands and stuff, but...
It would be funny if Harley went, because he would show up looking as though he had already lived in the wilderness for a couple months.
Yeah, like I just live in the woods. Fucking.
Like, hi guys, like, no, I had to go out for a minute. Let's go back. Okay, cool. It'd be a lot of fun.
Or you guys when it's done, your trek or whatever, like I'm just there with an epic meal right at the end of it. You guys come wandering out of the woods and just go right into an epic meal.
That would be
That
funny.
would be hilarious.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be fun. We've got a couple little trips planned like that. But I'm looking forward to the survival trip. I think, least of all, I gotta say,
Are you looking
It was
forward to the survival trip? To me, it...
least of all. That's what I said.
Oh,
I said
least
I'm
of
looking
all.
forward-
Oh, now I understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
because to me, it's part of the Patreon thing, right? Like we have this PKA Adventures thing that spawned up. Not every trip is for me. Like this first one we're doing, the shooting and great adventure. I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a good time. In the woods with no food, no shelter. That one's for you. That's not.
Yeah,
That
not gonna
seems.
be fun.
That's for you.
Patreon.com/PK. Go there.
Check
Help
it
us
out. Link in the description. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff that funds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
you know what you should you would probably excel. You guys would probably excel at using Insta Radio. Do you ever use that? Just because you guys got good radio voice, and to let people know about your Patreon thing, like you could do like quick little posts on that. It's kind of like Instagram videos and
Insta
Twitter.
radio?
It's a radio. Yeah, it's a radio broadcast. Like, it's pretty cool. Like, if I were to do it right now and to open up Insta Radio and just go like broadcast, I would be going live, and anyone can tune in, and you can make like a 10-hour broadcast or something, or however long you want. And then whenever you stop it, it just lives on your timeline, like on Instagram or on Vine or on Twitter and stuff like that.
That's
That's
neat.
cool. So it's like an audio version of Instagram or
Yeah, it's just completely audio, and
Almost
yeah,
like audio
I use-
Twitter.
because we always wanted to get a podcast up and going, but you guys got all the equipment and stuff and shit like that. Like I literally I get my buddies and we're all together in the car like driving somewhere, and I open up Insta Radio and I'm like, yo, podcast, what up? Do it for like a 25-minute drive or something like that. But it's cool because it like broadcasts live and goes right up right away.
That's really cool.
You guys would probably fucking kill that shit because I know it's a new app. So
I'd have to research that. I think Harley would be great on a podcast. We need to get Harley his own show. We got Jenna Marbles making the jump to Sirius XM. I want Harley to have a Sirius XM show.
Yeah, I was listening to the Stern Show today, and a little commercial came on, and it was like, they were talking about the thing that she's going to be hosting over there, and then she had like a little spot. She said, come hang out with me, blah, 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 or whatever. Oh, that was pretty cool.
Check it out. I'm curious what it's going to be, really.
Just her introducing top hits, isn't it? Like that. That's the idea.
I thought it was like hot top hits from YouTube, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's YouTube Music.
I guess that's the new radio.
I think I may be wrong, but is it a new channel they're debuting, or is it like a?
I think she has a
YouTube
show
takeover
on a major channel. It like the channel is called Top Hits or something. I forget. I mentioned the channel name to people who know. Like I think it was Dr. Chiz or maybe you.
So it's supposed to be ongoing then.
There's an existing channel and she's going to get a segment on it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I gathered from it as well.
And she's going to introduce top songs from YouTube, which to me are the top songs, right? Like top songs from YouTube are the same ones I hear on the radio. Unless
I think it was YouTube artists from what I understood.
So people who aren't signed to big records, like there's a blurred line between a YouTube artist. I mean, we went to a Megan and Liz concert, who I guess most people would consider a YouTube artist, but they're kind of bridging that gap. Is Justin Bieber a YouTube artist? I mean, he was. He's not now, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's tough to say.
Yeah, but so maybe I don't know. We'll see what it comes of it. But cool. So yeah, she made the leap to satellite radio, and I'm talking to a TV star. So yeah, Jenna Marbles, you're adorable.
It's crazy. Like, there's been like this like slow like YouTube takeover. People making their own movies and stuff. Like Smosh was just doing a movie. Video Game High School. You know what I mean? Like you guys are like #1 on iTunes. Like we have a TV show. All these people getting book deals. Like it's really been a long time coming. But I feel like we're at the beginning of the YouTube takeover. It just sucks that it's also the apocalypse. Just as soon as we're getting what we deserve.
Just when we thought we were out.
Yeah.
Bastards. Yeah, I was watching TV and I saw an epic rap battles of history commercial on like ESPN or something, and I was like, oh, I know that. Oh my god, that's so cool. Like that was the crossover from YouTube to like not actual, but a different media. That was really cool to see the epic rap battles guys on.
Yeah, that is always cool. Whenever I see stuff like that, like I was watching Transformers, the new one, and like Cass MG is in it for a second. I think he literally just goes duh, and that's it. But like out of all the Mark Wahlberg like machine wrestling shit that was going on, I was like, what? I know that motherfucker. And I saw Transformers in 4DX. Are you guys familiar with this?
No, I'm familiar with it, but I have not seen it. I've never seen a Transformers movie.
I heard the latest Transformers is by far the best one, and then it's actually good.
Well, I'll tell you, I thought the first one was pretty cool. I hated the second one. There was like 30 minutes where it was like Shia LaBeouf's parents in the movie, like getting him settled in college. I was like, what the fuck is this? Fuck this. And I watched the third one because I hated the second one so much. But then I was like, oh shit, Marky Mark and the Transformers? I'll check this out. And I was in Los Angeles at the time, and there's only one of them in LA or in the world right now, a 4DX theater like airing Transformers. So it's like you sit in the theater and the seats move with the movie.
No way.
Whenever like the Transformers are flying through the air or it's a helicopter or something like that, like it like wind blows in your face as the chairs move with the movie. And there's smell-o-vision.
Get out.
It smells like burnt tire, like when the Transformers are fighting and stuff. And like when there's bullets and shit, like there's little air things that blow by your ears, so it sounds like the bullets are going right by your face and you can feel them. And whenever there's like anything wet, like it kind of mists you, like it sprays water on you, which you could turn on or off on the seat.
That's
like,
awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's even like explosions. There's like smoke in the theater. It's a very like strenuous, mind-numbing experience for like a 3 hours Transformer movie that like literally moves you and all that stuff. And it's funny because like I was saying, it mists in your face, like whenever there's wet stuff. And I mean, it cost more. It cost like about $30 for a ticket. So I was going with my buddy Amir, and I was just like,
YouTube
man,
money.
I can't believe we're spending more money to literally have Michael Bay's movie spit in our face. Like, literally, top dollar to like sit down and watch Transformers, except it kind of stinks in the theater and it spits in your face.
Dude, I've had that before, but not at 40X, but it was at Epcot. Have you done it at Epcot?
What, for like Shrek?
I haven't done it for Shrek. I did one for, it was like the greatest Muppet thing, and it was in 4D. And like, for example, they release mice through the theater. Yeah, mice. And
it tickles your ankles.
What'd you say?
And it tickles your ankles?
Yeah, the puffs of air blow around, and you think that the mice are rubbing up against you. And I did Soaring, which had like a moving chair, but then the video is of hang gliding. And as you go through like orange groves and stuff, there's like this really pleasant aroma. And yeah, so like, yeah, that sounds incredible.
It's the exact same thing, but just like it's just Transformers, you know? So like, instead of like smelling the orange grove, like you smell like butterscotch and vanilla whenever Mark Wahlberg talks, because that's like his breath.
That's what his breath.
I want that to be my signature fragrance. That sounds awesome. I wish my breaths always smell like butterscotch and vanilla.
But yeah, it's just really funny because like it wets, like just having a water on off switch. You just kind of like shit. Like movie theaters getting pretty desperate these days.
Desperate. I think. They need to keep moving forward, right? Because like I don't even know your home theater, but I'm guessing you've got a big flat screen, 5 speakers, and the TV has something to compete with. Look at that.
I don't even know if it fits in the. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, and do you have surround sound?
It's like no, upstairs. It's like a 70-inch TV, and I think I sit 7 feet away from it. Like I go like anything that's not IMAX. Like I go to IMAX, I'm just like, it's not IMAX. It's not big enough. I need to be in the first row at IMAX to really be like, whoa, I'm at the movies.
Kyle, how big is your TV?
What's
70.
that?
Kyle's in the same league as you, I think.
I think mine's 72.
72.
Yeah, but I got mine like mine cost about $1,000 at Costco.
Okay.
So like I opted for like, instead of getting like the 4K, my TV doesn't do 3D or anything like that. I just was like, fucking flat shit, 2D. I don't even need that many hertz. I don't know how many hertz it has. Like I'm good. Like 1 hertz, I'm good. I'm really good. So.
Is it smart or dumb? Is it a dumb TV or a smart TV?
Honestly, it could be the smartest TV in the world. It doesn't matter. I'm still plugging in my Xbox and using my Xbox's features.
There you go. That's
Yeah, I don't like the Netflix client on my TV. I usually use I use a Roku or I use an Xbox. I'm starting to like the Roku better.
You used to use your TV, I think.
Yeah, but that was just because I didn't have the Xbox in the living room at that time, and it was just easier.
Okay.
It's the TV my TV always forgets my like Wi-Fi, like when you turn it off, so you gotta like reprogram it.
Me too.
It's a bitch. Yeah, that makes it not even worth doing it. My password's like 15 digits or something, and I gotta go in 2 menus. I'd rather just like plug a Roku or an Xbox in and just be straight into Netflix or HBO Go or whatever.
I use a Xbox One downstairs, which sucks because the Netflix app keeps crashing. And in my room, in this room, I use a Roku, and it works well.
Yeah, I used a Boxy box for a while, but like I'll hook up like my PC. Like I literally, all my TVs just have HDMI wires hanging from them to like stick like my iPad in or my TV in. I mean my computer in. Just like loose HDMI wires. I've never been the type of guy to mount the TV or anything. Like I always like need to have access to the back of the television.
Yeah, that's smart because then you can just swap out whatever's doing.
I'm like in many ways I have like my own house, but I'm like a fucking child at the end of the day. Like I bring like my Xbox like downstairs to the upstairs TV to the TV in my room. Like I'm always moving electronics around depending on like where I'm hanging out. I can't wait till they get that shit figured out.
Everything wireless. I want electricity.
But like,
I want electricity to be wireless too.
But like not even things. Like, I don't even want, like, there shouldn't, like, as crazy as it sounds, like, I want to watch TV, but there doesn't even, like, why does there have to be a TV there?
I got you. Like, maybe the wall is just an interface. You
exactly.
You put your fingers on the wall like you're like expanding the screen on an iPad, but it's just the wall. You make yourself a 32-inch screen because that's the perfect size from the toilet to the wall, and you start watching CNN.
Oh, you know what? Actually, on the topic of like pinching and stuff like that, I for the first time in forever, I went to the bathroom, and I didn't have my phone because it was charging. So I just like old school style. I was like, oh fuck! I like grabbed the shampoo bottle so I had something to read while I dropped the news. And like the first thing I do is I take the shampoo bottle, like I look at the back of it, and I try and pinch zoom on it. And I was just like, oh my god! I like dropped the shampoo bottle. I'm like, I suck. I'm stupid. Human beings are stupid. And now I see kids too. Like I watch little kids. They like I watch like 5-year-old kids, and they look at the newspaper, and they're like trying to pinch zoom on the newspaper. I'm like, you little fucking idiot! Don't you understand? One was a device, and this is just a piece of paper.
Silly kids think they're entitled to pinch zoom newspapers.
Yeah, and then meanwhile, so do I.
Yeah, as soon as you said it, I was like, I'd like a pinch zoom newspaper.
Entitlement, man. That's what they always nail kids with. They always, this kid's entitled. They think they're entitled. That's like the label they can't seem to escape from.
Kids are entitled, though,
That's
because
because
I'm curmudgeon-y, get off my lawn.
That's because people who are old enough to not be kids always had it worse than the people who are kids. You always look down and see that the people who are kids now have it better than I had it because it's always getting better.
Yeah,
I find like gamers have gotten entitled. When I was younger, like gamers, if you played video games, you were just like, oh my god, I can't believe the Nintendo 64 game is $90. How am I going to save up for this? But you like start saving and you figure it out, you know? But like these days, it's just like, you know, people are like, oh, fuck, 99 cents for this bullshit? Like, fuck you.
Right. So you're saying I pay, $15 for this, and then I don't get free downloads and updates for the rest of my life? You're just going to make a game and call it a product? No, I expect you to continually serve me forever.
Yeah, even like, if like a game gets like updated, like, like people, like some big companies, they'll like take the same game and reskin it. And then, and then they'll, like, charge for it. People get so mad. Just like, dude, what the fuck? Just let us mod it. Let us do whatever we want with your shit. Let me look inside your game and change the code and do what I want and sell my own version of it for free because I spent $60 on it. Like, I feel like the fact that the gaming industry does so well is so crazy to me because, the newest games cost, tens of millions of dollars. And, people, I mean, pirating isn't as often as it used to be, but still, I just don't see how, all these game companies keep pumping out games, and they're all it's $100. It's like $100 a game, essentially, even though it's I'm sorry, in Canada, it comes out to about $80 for a video game.
Well, when you factor in DLC and stuff too, you're looking at $100 either way, at least. But that's the thing. Not a lot of AAA games make money. A lot of them lose money because they spend whatever $15-20 million developing it, and when you do that, you've got to sell 3 or 4 million copies, which is huge. And they're like, "Oh, why didn't 4 million people buy this? Because we fronted $20 million or $50 million in development." It's like, well, maybe you should trim the fat a little bit if you need to sell, what would the equivalent be if I moved 4 million records in the music industry? What would I be?
You would be quadruple platinum, I think.
Right? So there are video games that need to go quadruple platinum in order to make their money back. And it's okay, well, maybe just a thought, you shouldn't spend as much up front. Just a thought. Maybe.
Yeah, they need to lower their overhead. WoodyCraft.net, best goddamn Minecraft server in the history of the multiverse. We don't spend that much on overhead.
Right. You can help our overhead when you go to patreon.com/PKA. Help with our overhead there.
I was talking to a girl the other day, and she was wearing a Minecraft shirt, and we started talking about Minecraft, and I was like, yeah, my friend, he owns a Minecraft server, and she's like, which one? I was like, it's WoodyCraft.net. And she's like, oh, I've never heard of that one. I was like, it's the best one in the fucking world. I want to rip that shirt off your fake tits.
You should have.
Who are you?
Been taking a picture. That would have shown her.
The best one in the world.
Showed it to your friends. That a teacher.
Yeah.
Wear that Minecraft memorabilia.
Exactly.
That Mojang shirt.
So the best one in the world. You don't even understand.
I actually enjoy, I played Minecraft for the first time the other day on Woody's server, and I gotta say, I finally saw the appeal of Minecraft, and I get it. Like,
What happened?
we played a game called Hunger Games, right?
Yeah, apparently you can't call it Hunger Games because it's
excuse me,
copyrighted.
survival games.
Yeah.
And it's remarkably similar to the premise of Hunger Games in that all the players start like on a pedestal, and then it lets you move, and you got to run for weapons, or you can run into like the wilderness and try to survive out there, and you kind of band together and kill the weak guys and steal their shit. And the games last like 10 to 20 minutes. So you're not like building shit, like you're not cutting trees down. You're rushing to like these like treasure chests, and they got random shit in them. So sometimes you might get like a really powerful sword, but you might literally get like a bone. Like there might be bullshit in there.
God,
and like
bone after bone.
I had so many bones, like I didn't even know what to fucking do with them. I was like, can I like gouge eyes with these or something? Like the other guy's got a stone sword, and I've got a bone and like a leather helmet.
Meanwhile, my 11-year-old son is an expert in the game. He's jumping on wheat and crafting bread for everybody. And Kyle
I walked up to him. He was just throwing bread at me before he completely killed me. But he was like, "Here's bread." I'm like, "All right, cool, thank you."
And everybody's got like everybody's characters dressed however they wanted to be dressed. Mine's like Kyle from South Park, and so you kind of recognize everybody in game, their avatar. I got it. I could see how that could be cool. I'm definitely not getting sucked down that rabbit hole though. That would be.
We didn't notice until I didn't notice until days later. You weren't dressed like Kyle from South Park. That character's name is Kenny.
I was green, right?
You had the green hat. That was Kyle.
I promise you, I was Kyle.
Kyle has the orange coat too. Kyle has an orange coat, I believe.
Oh, maybe
so
I'm
weird.
mistaken. I thought he was Kenny, the one that doesn't talk.
I imagined Kenny in my brain.
Yeah, you killed Kenny with the orange coat that zooms in over the. That's what you wore, right?
No, I wore the Kyle, the Jewish guy.
Yeah, Kyle has the green hat, the green mittens, and the orange jacket with the green collar on him.
Yeah.
You know what? I think maybe you're right and I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's definitely Kyle. I've seen it. South Park's one of my favorite shows. I think I've seen every episode like twice. I really like what those guys do. That's one of the coolest little success stories ever. And they're weird. Those guys are fucking unique.
Yeah, they went to an awards show on acid, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Wearing dresses.
Wearing Jennifer Lopez dresses.
Yeah. That might have been the Oscars.
Yeah, and that's funny because everyone was just like, "Oh, they're wearing dresses and they're acting silly," and then it comes out years later that they were on acid.
They were fucked up. That's
like people at awards shows like that. I always see Daft Punk like chilling at like music awards shows, and they have like their robot helmets on, and they're sitting next to each other, and like they're just like not talking, they're just there. And I always wondered if they have like party chat going on in their helmets. And like they're totally like when a weird like whoever someone's walking up to them, they could be like, "Oh fuck, I hate this guy." So
like it sounds like they're crackling over a radio, like, "Yeah, check out this broad."
Yeah, exactly. They're like, "Does he see us? Is he coming here? Is he coming here?" But it's funny because like then to us they get to look so cool and like you know what I mean, like they're just chilling, but really they're being probably like fucking weirdos in their helmets making jokes and stuff like that.
Or they're like, "It's fucking hot in here, God."
Yeah, I also think maybe we might be on our second Daft Punk now.
Oh,
Just like your kids, maybe. You know what I mean? Like I feel like we're on the second Daft Punk.
have you seen the Daft Punk? You probably have, with the girls that have the on their body and they like lift their thigh and do the song.
Yeah, with the.
They put robot heads on. They're kind of fit. I feel like a perv watching that video.
Me too, and then I touch myself.
And that completes the perviness.
It goes without saying.
Just to complete the circle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, oh my god, I feel bad. I should be bad.
Like you're already going down that road. Might as well just complete it. Like, well, I've already thought about it, so I might as well touch myself inappropriately to this.
There's like a frustrating thing to watching like sexy videos that like aren't porno. There's like a frustrating aspect to it because like you watch, you're like, oh god damn it, would you all just fuck already? Come on.
It's not frustrating.
Either fuck or put some more clothes on or something.
It's like, well, you guys don't know it, but you've just initiated the launch sequence. Here we go. I'll step from here to that collection of subreddits I have, and then I'll go from there all the way to watching Selena 22. Peace, baby.
Isn't that weird that we've all, or you guys have all watched her have sex, and we just talk about it openly?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she watches us on the show.
She watches us talking about her having sex on camera. Right.
She's a pretty girl. I like her, and she's really sex positive. She's this, I guess you'd call her an amateur porn star in Harley. She got like 3.5 million views on Pornhub last month. And, she makes videos of her and her boyfriend having sex. And she's really aggressive. She seems like... I was just doing some research, trying to make sure that she's a legit porn star and everything, and it seems like she vomits on her boyfriend's dick about 1 in 3 times.
She, I was talking to her a little while ago. So that's her first boyfriend. She's been with him since she's 19. She's 22 now. So like, this is the only guy she's ever been with that she makes these porn videos with.
She's not even slutty, and
Not
she's
at
a
all.
porn star. She's just, you know what?
So she tied her Twitter and Pornhub branding to her age, which is going to change in a little while. That's bad branding. Can't do
What
that.
was that
That's not smart.
Selena 22.
Yeah, Selena 22, and
He's definitely looking that up right now. Like, you just go to Pornhub and you type in Selena 22, and you'll see the supposed
videos. I have natural tits and a tight pussy.
Shaved pussy.
Oh my god, this is her Twitter. I found it. Selena22. Follow Selena22 P-Hub.
she's awesome, and I think that
she's like a legitimate fan of the show too. She's like
Yeah.
fans
Oh, yeah.
of us individually, all our work, and she loves PKA.
there's
It's great.
something kind of charming.
Selena22. Make sure you follow at Harley Place, please.
I think there's something kind of charming about the fact that she's devoted to her boyfriend. Like, I don't know. What's the perfect woman, right? Let's talk about this. She's supposed to be, Nancy Reagan in public and Sasha Grey in private, right? Selena, I think, might be hitting that. I don't know what she's like in public. Her private's a little...
Yeah, that's pretty public, though.
Yeah, she might overshare a touch on her Twitter. But,
A lot of butthole pictures on Twitter, just saying.
yeah,
Yeah, wasn't her Twitter avatar for a while just a butthole?
Just
like
a
so
butthole.
many
That's-
young kids today,
I
she
can't follow you
overshares
if
on
you're just gonna be
Twitter.
a butthole. Like you got to be more than a butthole for me to follow you. Come on. I don't know, but big news for you Selena 22 fans out there. She just told me a minute ago. Apparently, she's going to be perhaps quitting her job soon and going full time on Pornhub.
Oh, live streams? Is she
Lots of
live streaming
uploads.
now? Do they have
We
a
talked
live
about
stream
live
over
streaming. She said maybe in the future. She's not sure.
I
there?
think
OBS
everyone
is
here
what you want to
can-
go with. Don't go with XSplit. It's OBS.
Here's the
OBS
thing.
or bust.
So, if you have any ounce of ambition, and then you become like a YouTuber and you start working for yourself, it is easy to get like wrapped up in it and do it 24/7. I wonder when your job is having sex, how that transfers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I was talking to a porn star for a bit. She said that just Monday to Friday she fucks every day.
40 hours
But
a
then
week.
how do you... Fucking...
It was Monday to Friday she fucks every day.
I wonder, do they have recreational sex anymore, or is their job recreational sex?
Yeah, they have recreational sex.
That's
Oh, they do?
I think most porn stars are probably very sexual already. So I feel like they enjoy having sex a lot, but if you're doing it every day, I mean, it's got to change it.
It does.
Imagine your wife was a porn star and like she came home and you're like, hey babe, I had a long day at work. How about it? And she's like, oh, you had a long day at work. Gang bang Wednesday. Like, do you know what my day was like? And then like you're trying to get it in and she's like, oh babe, please.
There have been like
She's
8
like, I just want to fart.
inside my butthole right today. It's awful. It's crazy. It was a jam-packed day. The Office.
When
The real logjam at work today. That's all I got to say.
It works on too many levels.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're awful.
when we were having our second kid, after a while, like what happened was, it turns out from the first kid, Jackie was infertile. They had to fix it. But back on topic, when we were having the second kid, for years we had sex like every day for whatever, I don't know, a couple weeks a month. And
Yeah.
And at first, it's like, this is the greatest punishment ever. Like, this is the world's most fantastic problem to have. Like, literally, like, we were talking about some sort of thing or angle or whatever, and my doctor said, well, I think you should hit that from behind. And I'm like, can I get that on a prescription? Like, how awesome is this? And, so we would, like, try different positions, different things. We were trying to conceive. And, but, like, after a while, it gets to be, like, working on the chain gang. It's like, yeah, like, to tell you the truth, given the option between sex right now and TV, fuck. I guess for you, I'll hit that. But yeah, for like 2 years, every day I had sex while we were having Colin.
That's
A lot of sex.
That's a lot of sex. That's
Dude, rough life.
So were you on the Viagra and cocaine? Did he prescribe you some of that? Your doctor? Like,
Yeah, and
Such a
so
rough life, yeah.
one of my teammates on my hockey team at the time, like he did the same thing, but he was like 9 months in front of me in the process, and he was like, "Nah, dude, it wears out." I'm like, "You're crazy." By next season, he wasn't crazy at all. It's a lot of sex, but there are worse problems to have.
Yeah, definitely so.
So what does a full-time porn star on Pornhub do? Is she gonna like start doing?
Is this a birds and the bee lesson that we need to hand out to you?
She said she was going to upload much more regularly. That's what she was saying. Because I think
yeah, okay. I mean, is she gonna stay on Pornhub, or is she gonna start doing like actual produced porn?
I didn't ask her about any of that, but it seems like she's against that. Like I think she's super shy, despite the fact that she performs sexually on the internet for millions of people. I don't think she's ever spoken a word in her videos. Pretty much. I don't think ever really. I haven't seen them all though. Oh, you got to run, Harley?
Yeah, I got to head out. I had just a couple hours here set aside. But
Okay.
I want to thank you guys so much for letting me hop in here, by the way. And, I guess I'm just going to go right into jumping on Selena 22 and, also thinking about Woody and what he did in those 2 years every single day.
Please do. Oh, I should have got you the pictures of me in my bathing suit to help out.
Oh, yeah. Send the Speedo. You got my emails. Send the Speedo over, please.
It's on my desktop.
Hey, Harley, what's your show called and what channel is it on?
Epic Meal Empire coming to FYI on July 26th at 10 p.m. So I know if you have DirecTV, I know that channel is 266. And it'll be on at 10 p.m. on July 26th. And follow me on Twitter at Harley Plays. Same with Instagram and Snapchat as well. And I post shit there all the time. Snapchat's shit, by the way. You guys got to get on it. Snapchat is big time.
All right. Thanks, man.
I can only imagine the disgusting things you guys would get sent if you made a Snapchat.
Making one now.
All right. Thanks again for having me, dudes.
All right.
Thanks for
Bye,
coming
man.
on, Harley. Have a good one.
Take care.
Check out Harley and Epic Meal Empire on airing on FYI on July 26th. That should be really cool. He was somebody that I completely forgot about when the last time we talked about YouTubers crossing over. When he said TV, I was like, oh, they're doing like a TV special. They're appearing somewhere. No, they've got a fucking season of a real deal television show. Most of it in the can already. That's awesome.
18 episodes. That's pretty rare. Usually they start out and they want 6 episodes. They want like a sizzle reel plus 6 episodes, or they want maybe 12 episodes, but to go for they want a 24 episode season. They bought a whole season. That's great.
And that's good for Harley, good for all fans of Epic Mealtime, and everybody that wants to watch all that stuff go down.
I like
That would
Harley
be
and everything he
hilarious.
does. Harley is a scene stealer. Wait, I said that wrong. A scene stealer. Like when he's on Video Game High School and he just like delivers his lines in that like super authoritative, like hilarious way, it makes my panties wet. So yeah, check him out. Speaking of making my panties wet, We have another sponsor for the show, the Briar Rabbit channel. He does Call of Duty commentaries and Beastly Thoughts video game podcasts, Let's Plays, gaming hardware reviews, and general douchebaggery.
Very nice.
Yes. Best
check out
goddamn
his
channel
YouTube
on
channel.
YouTube. Check him out.
Absolutely.
Link on the screen right now and in the description?
Yes.
Or link in the description?
I link in the description for sure, because that always works. Annotation maybe, because that sometimes works. Woohoo!
Yeah. Setting annotations on like a really long video. It seems mundane if you're not a YouTuber, but if the show's 3-4 hours long and you've got to go to the exact time where a graphic switches or there's a transition to something else, it can be a pain in the ass. Not that it's impossible, but it can just be.
And sometimes it doesn't work. I did an 8-hour Civ video, and like I uploaded it. It was in 360p for literally like 2.5 days, and then it came in 1080, and then it downgraded again to 360. And I haven't looked at it lately. Like, and
you uploaded it in
annotations don't
1440,
work.
didn't you?
What's that?
You rendered it and uploaded it in 1440p.
I captured it in
okay.
1440p, yeah, and just straight uploaded that. And it made its way to 1440 and then back down. YouTube can be silly sometimes. Annotations aren't always available as an option, even though it's like still processing or whatever. But anyway, the Briar Rabbit channel, check him out. Best goddamn channel on YouTube.
I've been looking at his stuff. He does some Call of Duty 4 stuff. He did a microphone comparison video. He bounces around a bunch.
I would like to see
Microphone
that.
comparison. What was he comparing?
Yeah, which mics did he look at? Link?
Yeah,
Awesome and not as good as mine, I suppose. Or well, Woody's got the best mic here.
But he's got like
You say
40
that.
hardware reviews.
I think of the mics we're using right now, mine's the most expensive, but I like the one Kyle uses a lot too. I also have that one.
Yeah, I like my RE320. I'm a fan. I'm glad I went with this instead of trying to save up for either the RE20 or the SM7B. I'm a fan of it. It's nice.
Okay.
Going naked. Always
glad
play naked with your microphones if you can, kids.
I'm glad I got this microphone. I'm glad I was talked into it. Next is coming the second monitor. Although like, the other night I started browsing around on iBuyPower, looking like building like a dream PC. And before I knew it, we were 12,000 in. But just saying,
you triple 4K monitors, 2 Titans.
Just lots and lots of just every. Oh, I can use 3 of them instead of just 1, and each of them can have this super memory. Yes, to all. and just building this monstrosity. Just
it's hard to get the 12 grand in the PC world. I can do it in the Mac world. I've done that. The Power Mac.
12,000 on a Mac?
Yeah, that new Power Mac they have. You can go multi-processor. I forget how many, but if you load it up, like the thing about Macs is they last longer than PCs. Not necessarily because, like, to me, there's 2 reasons. One, the operating system. Like when you know how in Windows over time you like install stuff and then uninstall it, and it's like a big mess of bullshit. And like, does McAfee ever truly uninstall? Who the fuck knows? PC
it's like its own spyware. It's shitty.
I bet if I go in my task menu here, and I'm sensitive and kind of savvy about these things, there's still shit that I don't want. Like, this is some sort of phone Kia thing. I don't know. It loads up bullshit, and it doesn't uninstall. It never happens right. I accidentally installed McAfee the other day with a Flash update for my browser. Bullshit. And it didn't even give me the checkbox. I just like chose auto up. Anyway, on the Mac, that doesn't happen. On the Mac, like everything installs and uninstalls as one package. It doesn't litter like DLLs and registry bullshit all over the place. So your Mac is as fast 3 years from now as it is the day you bought it. Now software could, you might the latest software might require more, but it's not like the same stuff slows down like happens on Windows. And then also the hardware is just built to a high standard. So, things tend to be like aluminum, and drilled out instead of like stamped or whatever. And so when you buy a Mac, in my head anyway, sometimes I buy it thinking I'm going to use it for 2 or 3 years. Whereas with a PC, like, I upgrade my PC every year or 2. Whereas Macs, they go on for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep.
Yeah, I got to get a new capture card. I just ordered that. I got to get the AverMedia one because I did not know that the Blackmagic Intensity Pro does not do 1080p. It can't actually do it. It says it can. It can't.
Wait, why do you say it can't?
It can't do 1080p 30. You can't recognize it, at least for my new system I got. So
Yeah, that's always my issue. I think it does do 1080p 30, but inconsistently. My Blackmagic, like it would sometimes work, sometimes not work. It was always finicky. And then it had an issue like after you stop recording, you couldn't change the file name. It's probably boring to some people, but yeah, Blackmagic wasn't good. Then I got Avermedia. That to me is the best one out there, but none of them compare to just like PC games.
yeah, so
That's that best you can get. And Shadowplay doesn't work for me at all. Like I can record Shadowplay, but I can't pick up my mic, or maybe I can pick up my mic, but I can't pick up my camera. That's for sure. It doesn't do it yet.
one last hyper-technical thing before we move on, if people are bored by this. I tried out NVENC encoding on OBS, and it's amazing. It allows for full 1080p, 60 frames per second recording at ultra-high bit rates, and it looks just as good as H.264. And it doesn't utilize as much of your CPU, so you can be doing other things, and it uses your graphics card somehow.
Is that just a checkbox?
Yeah, it's in. You can set it up in your profile, like you know how you set up different profiles. You can set up one, and then I believe you go to. I'm recording now, so I don't want to mess with anything.
Yeah.
I believe you go to. I believe it's encoding, or perhaps it might be advanced options. It makes sense to be under encoding, but I think it's under advanced options. And you'll see H.264 with a little bubble next to it, and usually it defaults to H.264. Next to it, to the right, there should be NVENC in all caps, and that's NVIDIA's codec.
Really?
It utilizes the video card. Yeah.
And did you say that was OBS or DxTory?
OBS. Yeah, it allows for 1080p 60 recording. I believe they've been making changes to it, because when it originally dropped, you had to record, because I thought, oh my god, I can stream at 1080p 60 now with one PC. This is amazing. But if you're not at a high enough bit rate, it looks all rainy. It gets that rain effect. You know what I'm talking about? In the video, all the artifacts. But I think they've been messing with it, and I recorded at 10 or 15 megabits per second using NVENC, and it looked pretty good. So
That's
might
awesome.
be able to out some 1080p.
I throw as much as I can at my video card now. I feel like I run out of CPU all the time, but my video card's pretty high end. It's like if I can make it do a thing, that'll be fine. I do that.
Like I paid for the 680, I might as well use it.
Yeah.
You've got a Titan in there, and
Dude, same thing. I know that technically there's some sort of difference in there, but I've had the 680 and then I bought a Titan, and my life didn't change at all. Exactly the same thing. Hey, what'd you get for your birthday?
My birthday?
Mm-hmm.
My girlfriend got me a watch.
Nice.
And this is great. This is probably, I was thinking about it. She always asks me, like, what's the best present? Like, what did you like the most? I'm like, I don't want to answer that question, because if I say one thing, you'll be like, oh, you didn't like the other things? But this is the best. Here, let me get it right here. The Thinker's Thesaurus, sophisticated alternatives to common words.
Oh, goodness gracious.
It's fucking great. I love it. It's really thick too. It's got a lot of beef to it. So let's say you want to find another word for malleable. Let's say that's not doing it for you. You can also say ductile. But you didn't know that. If you want to manly, like manly, related to or concerning with being a man, preopic.
Help me out. I need another word for pretentious.
I think I got you covered there. I see this one. I see where you're going with that. But I don't think I do. Let's see. Pressure, pretentious, as in affected and high flown. Use of language. Euphuistic. Top lofty. Fastuous. Crocodilian.
Crocodilian.
Pretentious as in insincere. Crocodilian. Donnish. Flatulent as in pompous. Yeah.
Flatulent means pompous?
I guess.
And Donnish.
Yeah, Donnish. This is sophisticated alternatives to common words. So.
All right, Kyle.
Yes, sir.
In your opinion, which one of us has the worst affliction? My inability to remember names, Lefty's inability to use his legs, or your black bar face?
Well, I feel that your ability to remember the names is sort of like face palming, sort of cringe kind of feeling that is kind of uncomfortable. when you watch it. Especially if you're like a fan of like the person in particular you're messing like Sarah Silverman, that's when I got Sarah Silverstone, not a person.
What's funny, people think I'm doing that on purpose at this point, but like
I know. I think you should just try to mess them up as much as possible.
I don't
like always like you should sit around like if like let's say Philip Seymour Hoffman were in the the news, just make sure that you think of another Philip that you can completely fuck him up with and insist that that's who it is.
I swear.
No, it's Philip Morris, right? Yeah, it was Philip Morris who was in the Hunger Games and died of heroin.
That's who it was.
Yeah, it's totally Philip Morris. Duh. Making up Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, but you guys have been with me in private conversations many times, and you hear it's the same thing as it is on the air. It's just ridiculous.
It's not an act or put on in any way or forced or anything like that. It's just
it's just messed up. All right. So Lefty's inability to use his legs or your black bar face, Kyle?
Well, Lefty doesn't actually have an inability to use his legs. That's just kind of a joke.
Yeah, and you don't have a black bar face.
Right, you don't actually have a black bar face. Like, what he's going to turn around, like, and I actually having a black bar face.
Woody, I don't want them to see the scars. Threw myself in front of that panther to save those children, but god damn it, I wish I hadn't. I don't know, probably the black bar face, and I love that because I love frustrating them so much.
I love the camera though. I love the induction or the use of the camera or the introduction.
Yeah, I feel like this one's a little weak. I wanted to get like a down the barrel shot. It seems a bit out of focus to me. I don't know if I can refocus it from here.
How would it look if you laid it sideways?
It's kind of across the room.
I thought you could reach it.
Yeah, I could go over and turn it sideways.
So you've got a little set up like elsewhere where you've controlled.
Yeah, it totally is. Like there's a bit of a partition between me and what you're looking at right now. There's a studio light I set up, like a legit like big like studio light that's like on a telescopic thing and the big bag and everything.
Oh, and that explains because when you laid the ammo down, a lot of it was off camera, and I was like, "Can he see that?" But now I know that you couldn't see that.
No, I was just kind of like pouring everything. There's a lot of stuff in that shot you can't see. I'm going to get better with what I'm putting on camera. It's just been a busy week, and I haven't been able to decide. My options are limited with some of the cool ideas I had got shot down, but I'm trying to come up with alternatives that would work, and I'm thinking maybe insects is going to be the way to go, because nobody's going to tell me I can't have a fucking scorpion in my own house. All right.
I know someone who would tell you that.
Yeah, I have an idea. I mean, if poisonous snakes got knocked down, scorpions probably going to get knocked down.
You don't need to know about it until one of them's already killed the other, and by that time, half the problem's gone, right?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And then you know how to get rid of the other problem? Feed
Throw
it to a snake.
Throw a bigger bug in there.
Yeah. And then get a mongoose for the snake.
Mm-hmm. Spider monkey for the mongoose.
We're not going down that road because that leads to a scary place. But
crocodile for the spider monkey.
Right now, bug fights is on the top of my list because I just can't think of anything else that's better. Obviously, I would like to feed a snake or have some desk pops, but it's just not an option.
You know what eats crocodile? Hippopotamus.
They do. Big powerful jaws in there.
But nothing eats a hippopotamus.
Poachers. You get poachers. That's what you do. Some African guys running around your house. There's ivory to be had.
And you know what kills poachers? Your associate FPS Russia.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cycle is complete.
I saw where in Africa they were shooting the fucking poachers dead. Like, they're not fucking around. Like they killed a bunch of poachers the other day. That's
a business idea, dude. We should have like a poacher hunting vacation that we sell. Right, so we can just sort of set up camp and the vacationers will do it. Right, so we'll we'll launch a new business in which we take people and we hunt poachers, and then we kill the poachers and then ship them back to the United States before they get caught.
I'm going to throw this out here and say that poachers aren't that evil enough a segment of the population that we could quote unquote hunt them.
You're such a commie. You want to make money or not?
Why don't we go after child molesters? How about a thing where, like,
everyone's got a thing against child molesters, huh? No one has a soft spot in their heart for a little pedo.
No.
I'm just joking.
Like none. Like almost zero. Like the
Well,
smallest.
no. Actually, there are somebody that has a soft spot in their heart. There was a church in Kentucky that hired a convicted sex offender priest, and then he promptly
raped a 14-year-old boy.
Yeah, multiple times. Once
Raped him real good at church.
Is he the one that
you
has
ever been
the
raped at church, guys?
Someone's just setting up a church. I was reading about it on Reddit. There's a church where the priest is a pedo, so they're saying no kids at this church. Did you guys see that?
Wow.
Oh, really?
That can't be true.
Hold
That's
on.
got to be the Onion.
I'll find the source.
Why are you still a priest? Why are you still allowed to be a priest if you're a pedophile, registered sex offender, or anything like that? Why are you still a priest?
So
there
here's
is
my
a
idea.
church in Jacksonville, Florida, that has banned
a few pedophiles, and we get the bad
Sunday
ones.
services.
I'm willing to believe that maybe some of these guys have some horrible, I don't know, chemical imbalance or something that and they can't help the way they feel, and it's a torturous existence. Because who would want to be a pedophile? Let's get real. Maybe it's something they can't help, but there's definitely some evil ones out there who don't want to help it. They're like, yeah, I'm glad I like fucking them kids, because fuck kids. There's some evil pedophiles.
A church in Jacksonville, Florida is coming under fire for its controversial decision to ban children from church services. The Christ Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church has banned children from attending Sunday services because their new pastor, Daryl Gillard, is a registered sex offender and cannot have contact with children. He pled guilty to lewd conduct and lewd molestation of 2 underage girls.
Wow.
This guy's still representing the God Squad, huh? They're just like, yeah, we love that guy. Love him.
He molested a 15-year-old girl and sent a lewd text message to another. On December 28th, he resumed preaching. And they're hoping that he can move past this incident and continue on with his work for God. Oh, this is great. Somehow I will prove that life isn't over after you committed a crime which receives a heinous label. You don't have to languish on the fringes of society.
A heinous label? What?
A heinous label.
A heinous label.
Like, oh no, it's bullshit that I got hate for diddling that kid a couple times. Like, that's
you don't have to languish on the fringe
what
of
happened
society.
to the good old days when a community would band together and rid itself of certain individuals? Like they still do that stuff over in the Middle East, and oftentimes we hear the worst of it. Like we hear about those awful honor killings and that disgusting shit.
Right.
But for every one of those, I bet maybe there's like 5 instances of some real cocksucker out there, some motherfucker who did some bad shit, getting stoned real good because he needed it.
Some people need a good stoning.
Some people need a good stoning.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Some people need a good stoning. And in certain countries, they're not above that. I think we should try to become higher in the world rankings for stoning.
Yeah, right.
We've got to be near the bottom.
If we're trying to be number 1 for killing people, we really need to step up our game in killing Americans.
Diversify.
Yeah. I mean, we can't just start killing other people, and we've been overly focused on killing brown people for some reason, right? Whether
Way too many brown people in the column. Come on.
Somalia, Middle East, whatever.
I understand affirmative action, but it's gone too far.
Yeah, exactly. We need to start killing some, like I'm picturing a slightly chubby white priest. I
want pink people, some I don't know, some chubby pink people, like maybe some Swedish people, or I'm imagining like that Hans cartoon, that fat little Swedish boy who was always eating the meatballs and chocolate, like people that look like that. Let's get some lighter hosen wearing people. Let's go after them again.
How about Icelanders? I'm sick of them being so white and perfect looking in the Icelandic volleyball team or bikini team. No. You're done looking all good and stuff. Blonde hair, blue eyes, all that good stuff.
We need to conquer a couple of those countries. I'm tired of this.
I was just thinking of that, right? You know why there's so many
since I was born.
You know why there's so many hot like Norway and Swedish chicks or whatever? Because the Vikings didn't bring the ugly ones back home. We need to go grab some of the hot chicks from like Northern Europe and make them Americans.
Pillage. That's pillaging right there. That's what that is.
Yeah.
See, some people don't know this, so couple little genetic traits passed on by the rape and pillage of the Vikings back in the day. All you redheaded people out there, and they brought that to you. They came down and raped the shit out of you real good, all you Irish redheaded people. That's why, because you were right in the path of the Viking fury, and they raped the most of you. There's more red-haired people in Scotland and Ireland than there are in, the southern part of the British Isles because y'all got a better raping.
And they are a product of rape, right?
Another little cool
See,
thing
rape
about
can be
certain,
good.
I don't mean to brag, but both my kids got red hair. How you think they were conceived?
Woody is a rapist descendant. He is a descendant of a raping Viking.
Apparently, rape makes redheads, and Jackie's built for it.
Nailed it. Another thing, there are certain European countries where the women aren't very attractive there. I'm not going to name any, but I find that some of the women in certain areas of Europe are just uglier.
I drifted out. Are we talking about Boston?
No, that's not Eastern Europe, but there's some ugly bitches in Boston. I'm just going to throw that out there. Y'all are looking rough. Everyone, I mean rough, like bad skin and all oily, and their hair was like bad and just
I'm gonna get my ass kicked the next
they
time I
had
come
bad
out there.
posture. I saw a couple of hot chicks there, and they were.
What did you call them? Do you remember what you called the hot chicks in Boston?
No, but it was funny. What did I say?
He called them tourists.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you call a hot chick in Boston? A tourist. Yeah, that's
I'm
true,
sure there's
though.
beautiful women there. My friends have beautiful wives and stuff. I feel like that's
I think that Joe's lady was
Katie
the most
is
attractive
awesome.
woman I saw the whole trip.
Yep. Joe has a friend named Chris. His wife is beautiful as well. She's lovely. Yeah, she really is. She looks exactly like Katie Holmes.
But the Bostonians themselves, not hitting on all cylinders. Let me just say that. Looking rough. But the reason there's ugly women in Europe is because during the Spanish Inquisition, one of the things that they would do, like if there was a hot chick in your village, all the old crones would be jealous of her. They'd be like, Jenny's a witch. The Spanish inquisitors would show up, and their thing was that a lot of them were like kinky old priests who wanted to like molest a woman. So they'd like torture this lady naked until she admitted to being a witch. Then they'd hang her, burn her, or drown her. And through that process, over time, they killed all the hot chicks out. And the women of Europe got uglier by like a degree.
They lost a point on the 1 to 10 scale, huh?
Yeah, you guys lost a point on the 1 to 10 scale.
Don't do that.
No, you don't want to do that. That's rough.
See, we've been importing hot people for generations over here.
You know what, though? I will say this. I think when you blend races, you tend to get hot people.
You get interesting-looking people, which is often hot.
Yeah, like I think the melting pot thing really works out for making good-looking people.
Yeah, I like if a girl kind of has an interesting look to her, like I don't know, like what's that Kate Upton girl? Like her face seems really plain to me. Like I'm not saying she's not gorgeous, beautiful. Her face is wonderful. It's a beautiful face, okay? But it's not. I'm not like, yes, that's a 10. That's the ideal. That's exactly what I'd want, because I might want someone with like a slightly longer than average nose, or slightly wider than average eyes, or I might like want their lips to be really big, or their cheekbones to be really pronounced, or some interesting feature that makes them unique looking. And you're like, yeah, there's someone who's striking looking, in a different kind of way than just the sort of vanilla look that I feel like she has.
These pictures came out of Kate Upton lately. I wonder if I can find them again. And
I feel like an internet neckbeard type guy, just even hating on Kate Upton, but she's gained an amount of weight that makes her body look average to me, like an average citizen that I could find at Starbucks in the morning within 10 minutes. Like her body doesn't look very good with the amount of weight she's gained. She's still a beautiful girl, though. It's just a step down from where she was, for sure, into sort of an average plane of existence.
Shucks, I'm finding all these like beautiful pictures. They were like, I think the pictures were incognito, like she didn't know she was being, like people were taking her picture, and exactly like you said, like again, I feel like I'm doing the whole neck beard thing, and she's beautiful. If she was in your high school, she'd be one of those, like, 5 girls that rule over all the others because she's just so beautiful. But, like, to me, her belly was the most notable thing in that picture. And other people were seeing her boobs. But to me, it was about the belly, man.
I mean, I know a couple of girls with better bodies than Kate Upton has in those pictures.
I'm hunting for them, man. I bet I'll be able to find them in a minute.
Harley's show's going to be pretty cool, I think. Like after hearing him talk about it, I became more excited than I was initially, like hearing what they're actually doing in the premise of the show, and that they filmed that many episodes.
Yeah.
I bet that was fun. I'm glad we had him for like that unique perspective on Israel too. That was interesting that we had him here.
It was interesting, because I bet if he wasn't here, I'd have been more anti-Israel. But he kind of had a point in that they do sort of go out of their way not to like hurt other people. And
they definitely fired artillery shells from ships onto the beaches where children were present, though. That definitely wasn't like a thing.
They only got 4.
That's all they got, though, was those 4 kids.
That's all there were.
Yeah, and that kind of plays into the whole...
Well, the thing about that is, like, do you think they were aiming at those kids? Were they on the boat, like, let's blow those kids up? Probably not, right? I mean, our government does worse every day. You know, I
found the Kate Upton picture. And here, I will ask you, the viewer, before you look at this picture, what is the first thing you notice about this woman? Who, by the way, is beautiful. But what's the first thing that catches your eye? Kyle, what was the first thing you noticed?
It's her gut. It's her gut, and then her boobs, and the fact that her thighs aren't as nice as I thought they were. Because if you look at the one that's flat on the bed, you can get a sense of how big it actually is, and not just how wide it is, which is 2 very different things.
To me, there's something not firm about that belly button area.
Yeah, it's not. It's not good. It's not ideal, and it's not where Kate Upton's supposed to be.
I saw this picture on Reddit, and the comments were like, "Look at those boobs. Those boobs are gigantic. Does she even have nipples? There's not a lot left." But I think what's happening is that top boob anyway is being pulled to the side a bit. So what you think is the front where the nipple goes is actually just kind of squished and like
either that or it's hanging on for dear life in that bathing suit.
Yeah, it's hanging on for dear life, which means that the front of it is not in the front where it normally is. Like the boob sort of scooched out the side.
There's another picture where she looks even worse.
You can help me Google it.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll get right on that.
I don't know, but I never saw Kate Upton as being like that. Like she was the peak of physical fitness. She was just supposed to be, that I don't even know what she was. But to me, it wasn't like, Kate Upton. She's got those, 8-pack abs, and she's got that V thing that points down at the pelvis, and that was never really her MO.
Check this out. Look at I just Google searched her. All of her pictures are kind of like what you just described, though. If you look at them, look at all these beach photos and stuff. Like in a lot of these photos, she's.
I don't trust pictures on the internet. Are you saying she looks really fit in those photos?
I'm not saying that this is representative of her actual build during these times necessarily. I'm saying it's representative of her image. And when I see those pictures that we were looking at the other night, and you showed one of them,
I kind of hear what Lefty says, right? To me, Kate Upton is always the model that jiggled. She's hot, she's gorgeous, and she has a jiggle to her. But when I saw the jiggle, I always thought, like, you know what? I think she's a little bit pre-fat. Like, that's... As a guy who's been around the block, I can spot a girl who is going to be kind of chunky in a couple of years. And Kate Upton is one of them.
I don't know about that, but in these recent pictures that she was less than in her... she wasn't at her best at all.
I'm calling it. Are you ready? Not the whole drug thing, but it wouldn't surprise me if she went the role of Anna Nicole Smith.
Oh.
Ooh.
That's a dark road.
It is.
Well, you said not the whole drug thing. I mean, well, it may have been the dark chocolate road too, but...
Yeah, I'm telling you, she has the potential to swell up like Anna Nicole Smith did. She is. I saw pictures of Elle Macpherson recently, and anybody who looked at those pictures, she's 50, would say, "Oh my goodness, like this woman is still hot." Right? If you could take that 50-year-old Elle Macpherson and drop her in, and 16-year-olds in high school would be like, "Oh my lord, That's hot. Whereas typically, with that kind of age gap, you're pretty much invisible to the opposite sex. And she still has it. Kate Upton will not be one of those women. She's not going to be the Cindy Crawford, Elle Macpherson, etc., who last till they're 50.
I wonder what's that like? What it's like to live a life where people are constantly trying to find not the best, the worst angle, the worst lighting, the worst picture of you. Because this picture, this looks like a paparazzi picture, right?
I would say so, yeah, because it was in an album of 31 similar pictures.
That person probably got paid a lot of money for these from somebody, from some National Enquirer type deal. And it's like, the princess or the Duchess, or what is she now?
I don't know. You talking about the
No, not Kate Winslet.
What, Kate Winslow?
It's
Kate Mary. Kate. Trust me.
She married the prince. The prince.
Of England.
What did Wings say, that she had a flat butt? What was Wings' criticism of her?
She does not have a flat butt.
She's
I saw an upskirt of her just the other day on Reddit.
You saw an upskirt of her?
On
Reddit? That's terrible. Where on Reddit?
Could such a thing possibly be found on Reddit?
That's dreadful. What would you search to find that?
I don't know. I don't save these things. I just make a mental note and move along. Keep it going.
It's not Kate Winslet though?
No, it's definitely not.
Kate Middleton.
Kate Middleton. There you go. Yeah, do Kate Middleton upskirt, and I'll do.
I'm not going to search that, but paparazzi are constantly trying to. Maybe later. They're constantly trying to get upskirt shots of her like this and find bad angles so that they can sell to the rags. Oh, look at the Duchess of Pork. I remember that the whatever the other British woman was when she was big in the 90s. That was when a paparazzo
Princess
found
Diana?
her. No, she was the Duchess of York.
Oh.
And then some unflattering photos were posted, and the name Duchess of Pork got thrown on her.
That's a good one.
Who is that?
Stuck.
Who got?
She was
Kate Middleton is lovely. I saw the upskirts. Even somehow an upskirt on her is classy.
Was it the one where she's wearing the black and white dress and he's got his arm around her?
No, she's wearing a yellow dress.
All right, here, yeah, mine's better. Hang
on. Sarah, the Duchess of York. She did some work for, I believe, those dietary places. Oh dear, what is this?
Oh. This is a woman who looks good from every angle.
Yeah. She does not have a flat butt. Wings might just prefer a more curvaceous butt than I do. Maybe that's it. But
there aren't many who would not approve of this rear end.
It's nice.
Yeah, I'm looking at it way too much. Let's close this. This is inappropriate.
That's a cool. I bet that's a cool lifestyle to be like a fucking Prince of England. I don't know which one of it was, but the Queen gave one of them a fucking helicopter the other day for his birthday.
Really? I wonder, so there must be a downside to it, right? Everyone's looking at you, judging you. I read somewhere that they do 230 appearances a year. That's a full-time job, and that's a lot of travel. Your whole life is decided for you, and that's kind of a tough gig. But it sure seems like the upsides are nice, and they've never worried about money a day in their life to the extreme. There's a difference between being able to pay your bills and living a royal lifestyle. My dog is barking. Someone need shooting?
You've got that new shotgun with the flashlight on it.
I know, right?
You owe it to whoever may be out there to go looking. I mean, I think that's.
Do you have your dragon's breath?
just to add some extra light, just so you can see, fire a warning
Who's
shot.
out there? Do you want to go on patrol?
I kind of do. Can you guys
go
hear
ahead,
this?
Go on.
Could you rig a wireless system so you can take us on patrol? Put a GoPro on and hook it up to your wireless.
I'll leave the mic on. If I have to kill anyone, we need audio evidence.
Just so you know, yell halt first. Just
make sure you get all your phrases said correctly.
Stop resisting.
Right for me.
I see the police do that all the time. Stop resisting.
Holy shit, I found crack on him. Oh my god.
Sprinkled everywhere.
Yeah, this is weird. I didn't pump it. He had to pump it.
He wants to save the pump for later, maybe. Maybe that's the intimidation factor that he wants to be able to bring to the table.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell if you're pumping on an empty chamber or not? Like if it's not loaded, would you be able to
in the heat of the moment? Probably not. If you did it and were like try to tell, I probably could, and if it was in my hands, I could.
Okay. All right.
And if I could see it, I could see the difference. But I don't know. If I'm an intruder and I hear chick chick, I'm not deciphering any audio clues.
You're not trying to call a bluff.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep the shit from running down my pants leg while I ease my way back out that window.
Yeah, that's that would. I mean, you kind of got to have it in your head if you're breaking into somebody's house that they might have a gun and shove it in your face. Don't you have to have that in the back of your mind somewhere if you're a home invader?
I think there's a couple of different kinds of home invaders, and I think the home invader himself is sort of his own thing in a way. Like that, to me, a home invader is a violent person. It's not about breaking and entering. He's not a cat burglar. He's an invader. He's coming in, taking over, maybe raping someone, assaulting people, killing people, torturing people, doing bad things to the individuals and stealing their stuff, really disrupting their way of life. Perfect individual for a good killing. And then there's like the cat burglar type guy, who's maybe he's not, as sophisticated as an actual cat burglar who would be like a professional jewel thief, but he's just the sort of guy who does a breaks and enters, and he's trying to grab whatever he can come to first to get a little money for maybe drugs or whatever he needs the money for. Maybe. And
he doesn't want to hurt anybody. He's not like, I don't want.
Who knows?
Yeah, I don't want to hurt you.
No,
I don't want violence or anything like that. I just want to take your shit. Take your shit.
And then there's probably a group of guys who don't think anybody's home and are shocked when there is. So there's a few different categories of those guys, and they all need to be dealt with in different ways. Like that's why you don't just shoot some random guy you find in your house. For all you know, his wife just died in a car accident and he's crawling for help. You got to ask questions before you start shooting people.
You see, I'm of the mind, not even being a gun owner, if I happen upon somebody in my home in the middle of the night who's not supposed to be there, like, I'm shouting commands, and the first one they don't follow is the last one they ever get.
I'm trying to be as understanding as possible while I'm protecting my own life and anybody else's who's there. I'll keep everybody safe, and I'll keep myself safe, but I don't want to hurt anybody if I don't have to.
Wow, see, look at that. See, everybody anti-gun, they want to talk about the crazy yokels in Montana that are like stockpiling weapons in preparation for, well, you stockpile weapons, but you're not doing it because you're crazy, and you're not doing it because you think you might have to go to war with the U.S. government one day. At least you haven't voiced that publicly. No. You just have a lot of guns because you like them, you think they're cool, and you like using them, and you'll be reasonable in using them and not just be like looking for something.
Oh yeah, I'm 100 times more reasonable with my weaponry than like any PD that you could find on Reddit right now. You could get on Reddit and find 50 police departments that use more that don't have the discretion I have.
That's good. You should be the head of the NRA, the spokesman.
There you go.
Yeah, you.
Maybe the gun owners of America, they're more hardcore.
Like, let's not be douche nozzles about our gun ownership. Let's just be reasonable about it and not go looking to kill people just because we own them.
And I mean, the other thing is, like, if you think about it, like, do you really want to shoot somebody in your fucking living room where your kids live? And like, do you want to kill somebody in your fucking house? Like, no, you would much rather be like, get on the ground, the cops will be here in 5 minutes. Don't move or I'm gonna have to hurt you.
But would I? Absolutely.
Yeah, if you have to, you'll do it. But it's not option A, and it's not my favorite option. It's probably my least favorite option. Right above, letting the guy hurt me.
You know what my favorite option is? This is the spot where Jack ate a man.
Oh yeah, that's well, yeah, that would be pretty hardcore too. I bet Jack would probably get like a medal from the mayor. Jack would become famous.
He's like Marmaduke. Jack, if people don't know, is my biggest dog.
Just like a violent, crazy Marmaduke.
My alarm was on. There's nothing going on. Between the dogs and the alarm, no one's coming in without good warning.
I wonder which of us has the better alarm system.
I don't know.
Gotta say, Woody. Jack is just like, if you are not part of the family, you are a persona non grata.
Well, In terms of just,
I don't know if we want to discuss our security parameters on the air, but you can't crack a seal without setting off the thing.
Yeah,
my worry is breaking the seal. That's my only worry.
I don't know whose is better, but mine makes me feel safe. Effective. Yeah.
Yeah, mine. Yeah, you can't open a window. You can't touch a door. You can't do anything without me knowing it.
Right.
And there's cameras so that I can.
You have glass breaking everywhere.
Yeah, and there's audio. There's
every so often someone will like drop a glass in the kitchen. It sets off the alarm system, and we have like 30 seconds to deactivate it. Like, avoid the broken glass and deactivate the alarm and stuff like that.
I like the alarm system. That's cool. I never thought I'd like one, but it's sort of a peace of mind thing, just so that you know that, like...
it's weird. It makes you... Like, sometimes I think, like, that I'm paranoid, right? Like do you really need guns? Right, but then it's like, you know what? So here's the thing, and this is, we haven't always had an alarm system. We just got ours like a couple years ago, I think. And I get jumpier when I'm home alone, and it's not like I expect my 15-year-old daughter to protect me or anything, but it does explain everything. Like, whatever. If there's a bump in the kitchen and there's someone in the living room, I probably don't have to worry about that. Like, the living room person would know it or caused it or something.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, the activity of your family disparages anyone from coming in. Like, right now, your home probably looks like, no movement or anything at all. The lights are probably off downstairs. It looks like everybody's asleep or maybe isn't even home if they can't tell you're up there.
There's less activity. There's less, like, fewer eyes watching everything, and there's no reason to dismiss anything. Like if I'm, whatever, in a room and the dog's there too and there's a noise in the kitchen, what the fuck? Noises happen sometimes. Whatever. Refrigerators bump, dishes that are dirty, like, lose traction and slide, or who knows what. But I hear two dishes clang in the kitchen and no one's home. Why? So, but on the other hand, like when the alarm's on, alarm's on, dogs, are home, and like, no, I'll be notified. Someone will tell me.
You know what you need. Think about this for a second. What if Jack had a camera mounted to him, and you had Jack Cam, and you could pop into that with your phone? Now, the easiest, cheapest way to do it is just put the GoPro on him, and if you got the right model, and go Wi-Fi with that shit, and it would just work instantly on your phone.
We need to charge the dog a couple times a day though with a plan like that.
I don't know. Those batteries last a long time, and it wouldn't be recording.
On the new GoPros, they are good, aren't they? It's not even new. It's like, I want to say
3 years old.
Yeah, I was going to say 2, but there's a range for you.
2 maybe.
Yeah, like the 2 or 3 years ago, suddenly the batteries got way better than they were originally.
I bet it's got 6 hours worth of battery if you're not recording. You've just got it turned on in streaming mode.
For Wi-Fi and streaming, I don't know. I think it might suck.
Well, you wouldn't do a 6-hour stream, but you would pop in occasionally. But I bet it would just sit there and run so that it would be accessible through the stream for hours and hours. That's how my security cameras.
Battery pack, so that he's got, you just strap it on in the morning, and you can put it around his collar. His collar becomes a battery pack.
I always thought the idea of strapping cameras to animals was cool. Anyway, like those guys who do falconry, who put cameras on their birds. That's really cool. I remember this guy came to my dad's place one time, and he did falconry, and he wanted to come there and like run his birds, and we went and watched him, and it's incredible. Like, he sicks a falcon on like a pigeon or a dove, and it goes up into the air and hunts it and kills it and brings it back. It's, I don't know. It's like being the Beastmaster or something.
What is a falconer's day job? Or is that it?
I think this guy was a carpenter.
Oh, okay.
He was just a working guy. That was his hobby.
Oh, I wondered if you could make like people that you do YouTube as a hobby, and then they announce, I'm doing this full time. Is there a guy that did falconry as a hobby, and he's like, I think I'm ready to make the plunge. I can do this full time.
Yes, there are. So at airports, one of the major concerns are bird strikes, and so they will hire falconers to come in, get rid of their bird problem. So there are professional falconers. The guy that I had experiences with was not. He was an amateur falconer, which is why one of his falcons ended up in the power lines and fried. So he doesn't falcon at Dad's house anymore.
Is that an AR-15 on your screen? Or M4 variant type thing?
Yeah. It's a weird one though.
Really?
The pistol grip thing.
Yeah. So at first, I had pistol in my head, and I just realized like, oh, that's a big magazine.
Yeah, I think that's a 458 SOCOM.
Let's see what this looks like.
I know. Now I'm gonna Google 458 SOCOM.
It's that's the size of the ammunition, the rifle.
Wait, those are 458s laying around?
That ammunition there, those are 5.56.
Right. All right. Yeah, I was gonna say
that pistol grip belongs to a 458 SOCOM rifle that is attached to.
Oh, that it's not attached to.
It is attached to. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm just gonna show you the rifle.
Okay, that works.
Yeah, 458 sounds huge.
My God, people do some cool things with guns. These look so cool. I gotta traipse over to his side of the studio.
People looking at my screen, that 5.56 is the standard NATO military round. That's what most of my guns shoot. That's what like American rifles shoot and stuff. This one on the right is what this thing shoots. I think Kyle's showing it to us. That is a good looking gun.
Wow. That's impressive. We could probably legitimately get Anthony Cumia on the show to talk guns. I know he's huge into guns, and he's just launching a new podcast that he probably wants to promote. I'll just listen to you guys talking guns would be cool.
So that was a purpose-built round. The purpose was killing Somalians. We weren't doing it good enough with a 5.56 in Mogadishu. And
are you away from your mic?
I apologize. And the special forces guys were complaining that we're shooting these Mogadishans 2-3 times with our 5.56, and they're wearing these big bandoliers of Russian ammo. Plus, they're chewing this drug called khat all day, which puts them in this like sort of crazy dude mindset where they're willing to die for the cause anyway, and they're already warlords. They're already like gangs of they're militia basically. So they came up with a 458 SOCOM. It's a hell of a round, and it's made to shoot people and kill them with one bullet when you shoot them in the middle.
So you're saying that now we custom make bullets to kill brown people. That circles back to my theory that we're too heavy on brown death. We need to get ourselves some Finnish women back to the U.S.
Yeah.
Kill the men, bring the women home.
When was the last time we killed a few Asians? When was the last time we did that?
Getting rusty at it, I bet.
Oh,
right?
It's coming.
Vietnam, 40 years ago.
We're gearing up. We're gearing up for a big incursion.
Yeah, at some point we're going to be like, China, how much do you think we owe you? Yeah, you're going to have to come get it. Sorry.
The Koreans really need a good adjustment.
North Koreans, not the South Koreans, though. They're nice. They just want to get drunk and smoke cigarettes.
What Kyle said?
What, you're saying you want to hurt them?
What? No, I said two things. South Korea is best Korea, and North Korea needs a good attitude adjustment.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Just so we're on the same page, because I don't want to be going to hurt any South Koreans, because they did right by me. They gave us Psy. We have him, or had him for a bit. He was on lease or something. And we gave them the gift of alcohol and copious amounts of Lucky Strike cigarettes.
Nice. Fair exchange.
Yeah, I think everybody wins.
I want to go there sometime. I'd like to go to South Korea.
You know, I got a thing here. This is a crazy question. It's off topic. Clever segue. You are fighting to the death in a 4v1. You with me?
Four of me or four of them?
It's you against four other guys of slightly better fighting ability than yourself. Each one slightly better fighter than you. Do you take A, Joe Lozon, B, 3 Wings of Redemption, starting behind each one of them with the rear naked choke already sunk, or C, a pistol with 4 bullets, don't miss, they're each a better fighter than you? Pistol with 4 bullets, don't miss, 3 Wings of Redemption starting with an RNC sunk, or a Joe Lozon.
So now they're just slightly better than us. They're not like far and away better than us.
But each one of them is better than you. So So you need something to tip the scales.
Joe Lozon, because Joe Lozon could kick my ass easily. And he could kick three of my asses easily.
So those options are things that I can bring with me into my 4 versus 1 battle?
You have to pick one.
And I bring that with me to fight the 4 bad guys who are all better than me?
Yeah.
What kind of gun?
Pistol, it says.
Do I get to pick the pistol?
I would think. I don't know what you pick. What would you pick? That's a question.
Yeah, because 4 other Kyles have MMA training.
Well, they're slightly better than you, so that's all figured out.
Right.
There's nobody that's better at dodging bullets than I am at shooting them.
Well, the slightly better fighting ability is exactly what it said.
How do we begin the battle?
It's an octagon situation.
They're on the other side of the ring, like it's legit, like UFC octagon, like that size.
And here we go.
Do I get to train?
You want to train with the pistol?
Yeah, I want to train with the pistol. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sharp, but
you could be sharper, huh?
Always.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna guess you go to camp. You know, like any other octagon fight.
If you give me shit, give me the gun, please.
You're just gonna take them all
I know
down.
I know exactly who I'd go see. I know one of the best people at doing that in the world. I'd go see him for 6 weeks, pay him to train me, and at that point, I'd probably take 6 bad guys over fighting 4 in any way.
No, wait a minute. Let me listen. Just hear me out. You know, of course, like the 21-foot rule, right? If they're within 21 feet of you, supposedly they can kill you before you get it out of your holster.
I spent the day shooting 3-inch targets at 25 yards as fast as I could with my 9mm. All day.
I hear you. I think the 21-foot rule is exaggerated. I think it's something that police say to justify shooting people from 21 feet away. I think that if you're paying attention, right? I'm not a startle situation, but if you're looking at me and we say ready, go, regardless of what the Mythbusters did, I think you can get your bullet on me before I get to you. Having said that, if me and 3 of me's bum rush you at the same time, I'm not sure you got us all down. And by the way, the hypothetical 3 me's all beat you 1v1. So you have to nail your 4 shots.
First of all, you're going to have a hard time beating me up when I'm swinging that big-ass revolver.
No, it's covered, right? Regardless of who it is, they're slightly better fighting ability than you.
Not when I'm swinging a revolver, though. I've got a weapon.
You really think the revolver as a club is the difference maker?
I don't think you know how heavy that pistol is.
I think I've got one like 6 feet from me.
You don't... Not...
I love when they fight about guns.
Okay.
I have 357 Magnum back there. How much heavier is your gun?
I don't know. It's a 44 Magnum with a 12-inch barrel.
Jesus Christ, man.
You would choose that to get 4 quick shots
That's
off?
like some Joker from the first Batman movie shit. Like that's
Wyatt Earp had his Peacemaker special ordered with I think a 16 or maybe an 18-inch barrel, and the whole reason was anybody gave him any kind of shit. He didn't want to get into an argument with them in which they could pull a gun and shoot him because he'd seen other lawmen get shot down like that. He'd hit him in the head with it. Most of his career was spent whacking guys in the back of the head with a super long custom-made pistol. But back to the point at hand.
Which part did he hold on to, the barrel or the handle?
He held on to the handle and hit him with the barrel.
Interesting. Okay.
It's like a pipe. But yeah, back to the scenario. I think I could survive the situation with Joe. Definitely. Definitely. Me and Joe would probably win. Me and Joe would win. I'm almost positive of it. Unless like the 4 of me were like as smart as me and they had like a powwow. Because in that situation, they all go for Joe and just ignore whatever pain I'm able to deliver. Because like I could probably beat one of them up real good, but I can't hurt multiple. Like Joe could tear people apart.
Well, the thing is, you can't beat one of them up real good. It's not a matter of how good you are. It's defined. They're each slightly better than you.
Well, I'm saying like
if they're
I'm
distracted
imagining a scenario when like if I'm the captain of the 4 me's, we all bum rush Joe. I'm Kyle number 1. left arm is mine. Like, that's my only priority in life is Joe Lozon's left arm. And Kyle number 2 is after his right arm. Kyle number 3 is after his right leg. Everybody's got a limb and then a free hand to beat with. And I think that in that scenario, Joe Lozon might have a bad day if he doesn't just like knock 2 of us out like Bruce Lee immediately, which he very well could.
You'd have to soccer kick them in the head or something, right? Even though they're slightly better than yourself, if they're not paying attention to you. I think you still win. I don't know. This is a tough one. I might. I don't think I can get 4 shots from people that only start 30 feet away from me, which is what I think the octagon is.
So here's one thing to consider about how the gun works is even if the 4 guys grab you, you just poke them with it and pull the trigger, and then poke the next guy and pull the trigger. You're going to get a couple of them. Like, the odds are going to sway in your favor dramatically. You're definitely getting 2 or 3.
And can I substitute and get 46-year-old Joe Rogan to kick me, or to kick my versions of me?
Yeah,
slightly better. Because I don't think I could. I don't think I could withstand that. Even slightly better fighting version of me, which isn't very good in the first place. But.
This I'm not sure it's a winnable situation. It's certainly not easy. Here's what I have. Do you guys? I don't know if Lefty was there, but Kyle, I know that we watched the 5v5 MMA fights.
I was there, watched them.
Oh, you were there too, Kyle. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
And you remember, as soon as one person went down and it became a 5v4, it was over. Like, there was less than a minute left. It just 2 people would just team up on one, obliterate him, and then it'd be 5v3, and then 5v2 until eventually it was literally 5v1. And you're like, why isn't he tapping? Does he think he's turning this around? That one last guy was curiously tough, too tough for his own good. So that has me thinking that, like, even a Lozon would struggle against multiple opponents.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm right in saying that 4 super me's, it sounds like, can beat Joe Lozon to death in the octagon.
Heck, I think 3 me's can get it done.
He's a professional athlete, but he's not a superhuman. Being a professional athlete, professional fighter, all the knowledge he's acquired throughout his life of martial arts training really only makes him like 1.7 human beings strong on like the power scale. He's about 1 point, like I'm a 1. Woody's probably like a 1.2. Joe's like a 1.7.
He might even be a 2.1. Yeah. Joe might be able to beat 2 guys.
If I'm sure that most people could beat 2 guys if the scenario's right. In a scenario where it's 2 guys facing off with you, it really depends on the 2 guys, of course.
Right.
2 average Joes, yeah. 2 guys who are like fighters, or guys who are like street fighters. Maybe they've been in 10, 15 fights before. They're likes to fight guy, as Jim Rome calls him. I wonder what mic Jim Rome uses.
Does he have a good one?
Yeah, I really like Jim Rome's voice. It's hard to say. Multiple opponents is a difficult thing, though. I have heard many stories of different people facing off against multiple opponents successfully, and I've seen it on YouTube.
I have too. Anyway, I've made my answer. I'm ready. If each of them have slightly more fighting ability than me, then they all have some, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think Joe and I can beat 4 better me's.
No. So 4 guys that know how to pull off a Kimura or something.
Right. 4 guys that know how to defend a Kimura, for that matter. They know an armbar escape or 2.
They know how to attack your joints. When they get your foot in their hand, they do something with it.
Yeah, or right. Yeah, I know you're referring to, or at the very least, like, if Joe's job is to land a submission in like less than 10 seconds, he's going to struggle with that against 4 better me's. So I'm not winning with Joe. I'm not picking Joe. Next option: 3 Wings of Redemptions with the rear naked choke sunk in. I still maintain I can beat a Wings of Redemption even after he has the naked choke sunk in, that I'd escape that and turn it around. If these 4 guys are all better than me, then that's a lost option too. So the only option left is a pistol with 4 bullets. And I feel like even though the odds are against me, I've determined that the other 2 are losers and that one has a chance. So it's my choice, a pistol with 4 bullets.
Yeah, I imagine myself drawing and double tapping, just taking the 2 in the middle out or the 2 on the right out, and then sort of backpedaling back back and go into sort of a safe stance and reassessing the situation and going from there, I think you totally take him out.
I imagine getting so good during my training camp that I get 3 or 4 of them every time.
It would be as fast as pop, 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 pop in real life. And in real life, that's crazy fast.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I'm going. Lefty, what's your pick?
I still got to pick Joe Lozon. Here's why.
Mm-hmm.
We've established that they're just slightly better than you.
Right.
Whatever you are now. My level of fighting technique and knowledge is so low that even, like you said, Joe Lozon's like 1.7 humans, and my initial thought was, well, that's good because I'm like a quarter human in terms of fighting ability and power. So basically, 4 of me, even slightly better, would be like 1.5 humans.
But you're gigantic. Fighting. That's got to be an issue.
What am I going to do? I got to, Joe Lozon would figure out very quickly that the people that are slightly better than me at fighting still have a glass jaw. And he'd figure that out really quick.
That's a thing too. Like, if you don't know how to throw a hard punch and you don't know how to lock a joint, then you're a declawed cat. Like what Kyle, he was saying, like, I rolled with Kyle at one point and he got like a hold of my leg. I think there was multiple people, right? And Kyle was one of them and he had my leg and he said, "What do I do?" And it's like, that's exactly why I took this fight. He's at that time, he was a declawed cat. There's nothing was going to happen there.
Yeah, all I know how to do is, throw punches. Like, I don't know what to do with a joint or an arm or, I didn't know anything about a Kimura, an arm bar, or any of that stuff, or even the guard, and I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. So people slightly better than me, even 4 versions of me that are slightly better than me, would know little more than punching. I know to punch. I don't. My technique in punching probably isn't very good.
We've already said you got 6 weeks of training camp. 6 weeks of training camp, you could be learning.
So here's the strategy. In that 6 weeks of training camp, Lefty needs to lower his fighting ability as low as possible.
He's going to get drunk for the entire 6 weeks.
I imagine
he needs to survive on ice cream and, like, Jack Daniels.
Beer, yeah. Just fucking wait, right? 6-week bender. And I show up just hammered drunk. And then they copy me 4 times.
Yeah,
and
so they're only
out
slightly better than the you that has destroyed you.
He's making real beer ice cream floats.
Yeah.
Right.
Just pissing Bacardi 151. I'm like, go ahead, Joe, have some fun, man.
Good, takes him apart.
Yeah, he just blows on him.
I've ruined all of them, Joe. You can have your way.
Start smoking pot just completely and just
exactly. You'll show up just like looking for munchies.
Blitzed out of my mind. It would be great. And Joe Lozon will be like, there you go, Joe. Best 6 weeks of my life. All right.
Now you get them. I like that.
Be off in the corner throwing up or something. Reassessing
I'm trying to imagine some sort of like way that you could, with like, safely, like with pads and stuff, like soft core, do like a 4v1 type scenario. Like maybe just submissions only. And maybe if you get the guy pinned, maybe you do it like wrestling, like when he's pinned, he's pinned. And get 4 average guys to go after Joe Lozon. Put headgear on everybody, put gloves on them so you don't scratch anybody's eyes out or box anybody's ears. And your goal is to put Joe Lozon on his back or curl him into a ball.
Dana White might have something to say about that. He might not want us to.
Nah. And Joe's job is to submit these guys, or maybe pin them wrestling style. I don't know. I don't know what the rules would be, but I think something could be done there safely and fun.
Hypothetically, Kyle,
I bet if Joe was asked,
and Harley against Lozon on the survival trip.
Oh wow!
That's what you guys just need to be doing is to break somebody's arm accidentally when you're out in the middle of the woods with no food and no supplies. Like, oh crap! I broke Harley's arm.
I think Joe would lose that one. Harley's gigantic.
Harley is gigantic.
Yeah.
Harley got in my car one time. It was a tight fit. That motherfucker barely fit in that car. Like his head was at the sunroof. Mine's at the sunroof. He barely fit in that car.
Yeah.
What was his rap name? We should have talked about his rap names when he was here. One of them was Fat Santa. He was Fat Santa for a while. I think he's like Granddaddy Longlegs now, though. Something stupid like that. Harley's funny.
Yeah. He's gifted funny, man. He's funny.
I love the mental image. I really do of his Jewish mother, like seeing him bring a whole pig into the kitchen.
That was funny. Originally, they were like worried about getting ostracized from the Jewish clan or whatever. Yeah. Now they're all involved.
Yeah, that's great.
And he tricked him too. Like, I got you. I put some bacon in there. You're all on my side now. Yeah.
You guys need Oh, go on, Lefty. You have a topic? It sounds like
yes, I have one. This Edward Snowden reported. This is from Engadget. Is this surprising to any of you? Edward Snowden reports that NSA employees intercept and share private nude photos that they get from monitoring people's communications. Edward Snowden, live from Russia, made that revelation.
That sounds about right.
That sounds right.
And I thought it was just metadata, right? Wasn't it? Oh, it's just metadata. It's just metadata. So now they're getting nude photos of.
You're welcome, NSA.
I wonder, was there an NSA employee that accidentally outed himself when he started sharing like the nude, like the dick pics that people were sending? Like, hey, check this out. And they're like, what is this, Johnson? This is a Johnson.
Freedom in America is a joke now. It really is. Like when I say freedom, I usually mean it as a punchline. You know, like whatever. I heard that it was $1 billion for each asteroid surrounding Saturn. Sounds like Saturn needs some freedom. Like that's the way I use it more. Freedom is a over-the-top American redneck expression. If you leave this country, you'll see it's not particularly free. It is locked down. Shit is locked down all over the place, and it's not always for the worse. But God, the notion that you can't look sideways at a cop or take a picture, you know, in lots of places, that's just not what freedom feels like. The fact that everything is gated off and protected from you, that's just not what freedom is like. That's what cattle is like. The fact that the NSA is monitoring your email, the fact that they're intercepting boxes. So I worked at Cisco. This story meant a lot to me. They intercept the routers that Cisco ships to their customers, inject their own bullshit software into the router, box it back up, and then ship it to the customers with spyware in it. People are not buying Cisco stuff because America's spying on other countries by intercepting the boxes and modifying the product. That's just not good.
How would they get a hold of this? Like, were they consumer products or like commercial stuff?
Commercial stuff.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
that's insane.
It is insane, and it's real. And they have like photos of them doing it. The level of intrusion that our government is doing in the name of protecting us is bullshit. And I feel like it's just fun on the intruder side, that they're not really thinking about what's right and wrong anymore. They're not even thinking about a cost-benefit analysis in terms of either like quality of life or actual money spent. They're just running away crazy in one direction. We laugh about McCarthy era. Mm-hmm. We've beaten McCarthy era, right? McCarthy era is lightweights. McCarthy era, you think that's surveillance? Get on my level. They're reading your mail. They're reading your texts. They're intercepting the photos that you send to your girlfriend. They're all over it's... Yeah.
You thought Hoover was bad, keeping files on political dissidents that he didn't like, and using the FBI to keep track on people that were saying political things that he didn't necessarily agree with, not even that they were treasonous. And you realize now that probably an email or text message that you have sent has been read by somebody somewhere, or passed through, filtered through some sort of algorithm, and perhaps if you've said the wrong thing, flagged for later analysis. Something you said, and who are you? Are you really on a watch list? No, you're just some guy, and you said, hey, yeah, we, I don't know, how do you work bomb into a regular everyday conversation? You're
you to bomb. Welcome to the 90s.
Yeah. You to bomb, man. And I'm like, ha ha ha. Remember when assholes used to say that? Yeah, dude, it was hilarious. And then an NSA supercomputer reads that somehow, however it is they do it, and it's actually kind of, I guess, technically cool that they can do it. But still, they read it, and if you've said the wrong thing in the wrong context, somebody later reviewed that. Like, oh, is this somebody that we really need to...
It's bullshit. That's not what freedom is. That's not what freedom is. I remember some guy in the PK subreddit was talking about Peru, And he said a couple of things that burned into my head. He was like, the reason that I think he's an American expat, which means he moved out of America. And he said that, he's like, one thing about Peru is the freedom you get there. He's like, you think America's free, but you don't know freedom. Until you live in some other country and you can just like go do stuff. You want to drive your truck in the woods. You want to chop down a tree. You want to do that. Like we need a permit to chop down a tree in my yard. What? Right?
Yeah. You need permits if you're going to redo your bathroom. You need permits if you're going to move an outlet, technically. And
it's just not what freedom feels like. So that's one thing. The other thing he said that totally burned into my head is until you've had sex with a Latina chick, you're still a virgin. It's that different. I'm like,
really?
Kudos to you, my sir. I like that.
Like one of those Brazilian big butt ones, or just any kind of?
I'm just picturing a really enthusiastic Latin chick that knows how to get down.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, that. Right? Kyle's reading me.
Kyle, can you speak? Can you speak from experience?
What if she's like half Puerto Rican, half Italian?
I bet he would give you the stamp of approval on that.
Yeah, I did.
Get some nice pasta afterwards too. Like she'll cook you up some dinner or something. Nana or something. Like you're back in the old country.
Good times.
That's what you need. That's what you need.
Mm.
All right, who's got something? Who's got something?
I always do. This one even segues well. Serious question. Give me one sex tip you thought maybe I didn't know.
One sex tip that I think you may not know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me go into the archives here. Sex tip. Boo, boo, boo.
Kyle, you thinking?
I am thinking. It's not easy.
This is like trying to tell a major league pitcher, professional baseball player, how to get an extra few mile an hour on his fastball. Or like, if you do this with your curveball, it'll break a lot better. Like, you had sex professionally.
You can make it. I don't know what you're doing.
It was your job. You just said earlier in the show it was your job for like 6 weeks to have sex with Jackie. Like that
was your
job.
No, so I said it was like a job. What was I gonna say? Oh, you can maybe you think maybe our listeners hadn't heard of.
Bondage tape is the way to tie someone up. You want the tape. It's like saran wrap. It only sticks to itself. It doesn't stick to your skin. Nobody gets like bruises on their wrists or anything. Like handcuffs would be scary. I think in the bedroom, like real police handcuffs. Like I think those things would hurt like a motherfucker.
On the subject of tying someone up, let me interject if you don't mind. It's a little weird, right? Because like when I talk, everyone knows exactly who I'm talking about. But we had a blanket, and like the edge of the blanket had like this extra furry, soft like lining that ripped off. It was like the equivalent of an old teddy bear. And it's not that it like I picture Kyle's bondage tape, which is like a saran wrap sticking to yourself, where you literally can't escape. Like duct tape that doesn't hurt, right? This was more of a voluntary thing, like, all right, your hands are tied here to the bed, and that's that. If you really wanted to escape, you could. This isn't a hostage situation, but the intent here is that you're not allowed to get your hands free, and it would take some wiggling to make it happen. Do people know how to tie hands? People don't, I bet.
That's the other reason why the tape is so good. You don't need to know. You just wrap it around itself once, and it's done.
Basically, you wrap it around the wrists, and then between the wrists, you do a loop that way, and it tightens it. Like if I just wrap around my wrist like a big circle, then it's always loose, and you can slip one out or whatever. But if I wrap it around the wrist, it's hard to really do to yourself. But you wrap it around the wrist, and then you need some loops that go through the middle. I'm not doing it very well. But the loops that go through the middle, like this part, that's what tightens it. I don't think I'm doing a good job of demonstrating. It's way easier to do on somebody else. But yeah, wrap it around the outside and then take some loops around the center.
You see, for me, it was never about like actually securing their hands. It was more of a like a role playing thing. I'm like, ha ha ha, your hands are tied. Not like you're not fucking going anywhere.
You're right. See, Kyle's going hardcore on his.
The point is to secure them so that they can't get away from the super intense orgasm that's coming. So they can't wiggle away.
See, now I don't. For me, to me, it's like at some point during this thing, we're gonna untie the hands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I'm done.
All right, to each his own.
Here's a sex tip.
Done, whichever happens first.
For the kids out there, or the people growing up. Here's what you want. You want a tall bed. When you reach the age, whenever you can control what kind of bed you have, you want a taller bed, especially if you're a taller guy. Because doggy style from the knees is fine. It works. But when you're able to plant your feet on the ground and get into like a power stance, like a rock star on stage, that's when you can get the leverage and get some real pipe laid. That's nice.
This came from an Ask Reddit thing, and I have one that's not on here that I think is on my own. And it's more for people in these committed long-term relationships. Here's my advice. Don't ask for sex. Take it, right? And that almost sounds like rape, right? But like it is a much better idea to press her against the wall and start kissing her, or carry her to a room and toss her on a bed, than to say, like, hey, does now work for you? There's a good chance she'll go with it. She likes you. So, fucking go get what you want. It's sexy. It's hot.
Where do playful no's play into there?
All she needs to say is no. An annoyed no would do the trick. You'll stop, but, like, I don't know, turn the tables. What if she pressed you against the wall and started passionately kissing? You'd probably say, I'm in.
I'd say I got video games to play or something.
Anyway, I like that concept. Fucking carry her to the bed, toss her in it like a Viking would.
Unless she says no, because then don't.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course.
But you see, sometimes, like, there's... I know some people will say there's no such thing as a playful no. But sometimes, like, it's been my...
I know what you're saying. Jackie used to do that too. She would
no, stop.
She would totally mean yes, and I would stop, and she's like, I didn't want you to stop, and I'm like, no, that concept is a non-starter. And she even explained that she liked saying no. This is like teenage Jackie, long time ago. She liked saying no because it was almost like plausible deniability or something. Like she got to. Well, I said no, or what? Like it made her less of a tramp, and I'm like, that whole concept is a non-starter for us. That's not how we're working this. No means no. What I'm looking for you is yeses, and she doesn't do that now.
Yeah, and I feel bad because it's like, that same thing has happened to me, where it's like, no, stop. I'm like, all right, and well, no, that's not what I meant, and it's like, well. When you say no, but you expect me to go, I've been conditioned, probably with noble intent, that no means no.
Right.
And I feel bad, like a rapist, when even if you give me that playful, no, stop, and I keep doing it, I'm like, oh shit, have I crossed a line? Like,
yeah,
uh-oh.
I don't even start down that road. No means no. That's that.
Mm-hmm. Don't want to be a rapist. That's bad.
Nope,
bad,
not a real one.
Bad place to be.
One on the internet. That's all.
What was I gonna say? This is getting a little graphic, but whatever. It's Painkiller already. Close your ears if you're a youngin'. Oral sex tip. We've all heard the joke about the alphabet thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, I have not heard this.
Oh, the
Spell
joke
the
is
alphabet on the woman's vagina with your tongue, or on her clitoris.
yeah. The joke is that you lick the alphabet.
Oh,
That's the thing.
okay.
You know, that you just go through whatever and they lick the alphabet. I disagree. I think if you figured out, like once you get the reaction that you're looking for, once that thing is working, that's your thing, right? You know, let's say hypothetically she loves T. Capital letter T is her jam. Don't move on. Keep capital T'ing until you're done. That's one of my tips.
Okay.
She's not looking for your cue if she likes capital T. Just keep doing that thing.
But she might be looking for your D.
Oh God.
It's like operating a metal detector. Once you find where you need to be, you start digging.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I like that. I like the metal detector analogy.
Or like a Geiger counter for sex. Lots of rads.
You can get some Radaway or Radex.
I want to play some Fallout. I've got to finish modding that game. It really is a bitch to do. It's like it's an hour-long process, regardless of what somebody says, because I have to watch an accompanying YouTube video to make sure I do it in the correct order.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pausing and going back and forth between menus because, of course, my folders aren't as well kempt as his.
Yeah. But once you get it, it's fun. Once you get it done and you get it up and it's stable, it's a lot of fun. I'm really, 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 really excited for Fallout 4 because
Is it even announced?
They gotta be making it, right? They can't not be. Like, the modding community has kept New Vegas alive for so long. Skyrim, so long. But
are the mods that big a deal?
Yes.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Are they just
huge,
graphical? What makes them good?
No.
There's one conversion mod that adds a few different. It adds the concept of backpacks to the game. It adds sprinting.
Visor views. There's mods that completely rebalance the game and make it a whole different gaming experience. There's lots of weather mods, and Skyrim isn't a particularly good looking game in vanilla, but with some of the mods, it looks really, really good, and it's not as hazy and dull. You can make the sky be bright blue and like cool looking. And
I should get a list of mods that I should install and then live stream it again.
Just go to the Fallout subreddit, and there's it's right there, like all the best mods to get and why and how to do them. And
yeah, there's recommendations for people for like packs of mods that you package together that like work well. And
yeah, that's the kind of thing I'm looking for.
Yeah, because you've got to install them in the right order, or you'll have crashing issues. And
then there's a whole, you've got to use some special client to launch the game if you have more than 4 gigabytes of video RAM.
Yeah, there's a couple of
tools
that you have to. There's a couple of tools that you have to put on, that you have to get. You get the Nexus Mod Manager and a couple other little things to make it.
I have more than 4 gigs of video RAM.
I think it's like more than 2. If you have more than 2, it allows to use 4. Right, but yeah, you need to get that so that it will. Otherwise, the game will launch fine, but then once it runs out of, I don't know why it runs out of video RAM, but that's what I read, that it runs out and then the game crashes. So you'll play and you'll always be able to play for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, but then once it hits that 2.5 gig limit, done. So you got to tell it to use more than 2.5 or something. All that narrowly technical stuff, but it's a lot of fun. It really is. And it adds a lot to the game. You can make it your own too, and you can add. There's different armor mods, and some of it is just cosmetic, but other times there's different stats and different. You can get a bunch of cool stuff, and it increases the number and variance of people. It makes the downtown, the strip a lot more lively, and
you can do the strip without doors, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool. So yeah, it's pretty cool, the things you can do mod in the game. And I think there's even, I don't think there's voice recorded quests. I don't think they've gone that far, but I know there's extra quests that you can add.
Yeah, there's dialogue.
Oh, there's dialogue too?
Yeah, there's whole
cool.
There's like a bounty hunter mod that's really deep that you go into where you become a bounty hunter. There's all these missions to go on with characters and NPCs and dialogue and everything.
That's
like
pretty fucking cool.
there's some serious mods for Fallout. I've been on there a lot reading on the Nexus forums or whatever, and those guys are passionate about that shit. They are passionate.
Have you given the female characters vaginas yet? Have you downloaded it?
Not in Fallout. I did in Skyrim. I one of the things I did, I was testing a lot of stuff. I tried to make the games look as good as I could make it look. I tried to make the game run as many frames as I could. I tried to make the women look as good as I could at one point. And you can make them really pornographic, just absolutely dirty. You can decide like what their pubic hair is like what their vagina looks like how big their boobs are, how jiggly they are, how the gravity affects them, like their butts. You can determine their whole like body style. You can have Jessica Alba as your like naked companion if you want. Like, you can have some fun in Skyrim. That's how you get down.
New topic?
Sure.
Have you guys heard of Henry Gribbohm?
No.
Maybe? Gribbohm. Anyway, he lost $2,600, which represented his entire life savings, trying to win an Xbox Connect from a Carnival game, Tubs of Fun.
What a dummy.
Yeah.
So how old is this guy?
Because
that's important.
It doesn't say on here, but I saw him interviewed, and I'm going to call him 30.
All right, if your life savings is $2,600 at 30, I guess that's about average. Okay, like that's not a tiny amount of money, but that's certainly not. I'm imagining this guy is a real fucking loser. Let me just go ahead and throw that out there right now. Okay,
Yeah,
this guy.
I don't think he's saving. If you have $2,600 to your name at 30, then you're just not putting anything aside. You're spending every dollar that gets into your pocket like a child. Carry on.
He's I imagine this guy is a real fuck up. You know that because you got to be a special kind of stupid to even do that, and you got to be. Like who came out with the story? Did he like complain afterwards like he was taken advantage of?
Yes.
Oh God. I wonder if he came back or like his mommy came back. Or his wife or something.
He's having his dad help him.
Yeah, like what a pussy. Like no, eat your fucking lunch, dude. Like I've lost money like that playing poker, and I was in poker. There are statistically good and bad decisions to make. I made a good decision, one that
is this about the time I kicked your ass in poker?
No, that was
okay.
$20 or something. I'm talking about losing.
I just forgot. I thought maybe you were talking about that time that I wiped the floor with you in poker.
No, I was talking about the time I got my bankroll wiped out when I was playing poker as a large part of my income, and I thought I could do it. I had started with a very small amount of money, and I had built it very quickly up to several $1,000s, and I lost $2,000 in a hand where I had pocket aces, and I had played the guy so well he was shocked when I turned him over. He had pocket queens. My dad was dealing, and on the river, which is the fifth and final card to be dealt before the hand is decided, a queen rolled out. Now, the odds of, at that point in the game, when there's only one more card to be dealt, of another queen coming out, because there are only 4 queens in the 52 card deck, 2 of them are already present on the board, so there's only 2 more. The odds, like 1.8%. Like
2.5%,
less
right?
than 2. There's other cards that have been. It's like 2%. You multiply it by there's 2 cards times
It'd be
one draw.
higher than 2.5%.
It's 2%. It's 2%.
Why do you think it's 2%?
It's just how you calculate it, I promise, because there's 52 cards in the deck. You do 2% times each card present in the deck that will help you per draw.
But a lot of the cards are already shown, right? So that you know that it can't be one of those. Like it's
God
not.
Damn it, it's 4%. Yes, it's 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. There are 2 cards in the deck that could save him. It was 4. Anyway, the queen rolled out.
4.
It's 4%, I promise.
It's not.
Yeah, how many cards had already been played though? Because those aren't available in the deck.
Sorry, Kyle.
You don't calculate those.
Yes, you do.
Why not?
Because they're undetermined. You don't know what they are.
Yes, you do.
You know that none of them was a queen, and that's all that matters.
Increasing your odds.
Increasing the odds of another queen.
Yeah. Like let's say hypothetically, we were just pulling a card off the deck. Okay, hypothetically,
the way I do it is how the computer does it, though. Like, I promise you, it's the exact way to do it.
No, I'm not buying it. I'm right. I just feel like I'm right on this. I don't know.
It seems like that would be the smart way to calculate the probability.
If there's 4 other cards shown already, then, and they're not queens, then it's more likely that there's a queen left to be shown, to be in the deck. If you were to exaggerate to make a point and say, all right, I've shown all 51 cards so far, but there's still a 4% chance that this one is the queen. No, you got to account for the other card. When you count cards, you absolutely account for the cards that have been shown already.
Yeah, and especially if the hand started out, or was it just you two playing?
Poor Kyle. He's getting too.
No, I'm totally right here. I'm going to show you.
Oh, you're maintaining that you're right?
Yeah, I promise you.
That's like some special math that he does.
So let's do this. There was a I forget. There used to be a game show, and it was like, do you want what's behind door number 1 or door number 2? And you'd think there was like a 50% chance that that the new door that they're showing you was better than there's this one big prize and there's a bunch of booby prizes, right? So you start off, do you want left or right? And you choose right. All right, okay. Now do you want left or right? And you choose right. And like, oh, okay. Now do you want left or right? You think it's 50-50, but it's not. They're only showing you those other options because, that's not the booby prize. The thing, you want to pick the one that you have already in all these cases because the path that's being determined, it's not random. They're just showing you more options, hoping that you pick the booby prize. I don't know how that relates to this, but in Kyle's thing, because there are already cards chosen, the pool of cards from which, that are not the queen is expanding. Therefore, the percentage that there is a queen has gone up. Is that, if I take if I have let's pretend there was one queen in the deck, just for a hypothetical, there'd be a 1 in 52 chance that I pull a queen. If I pull one off, now the odds are 1 in 51. That's the simplest way to say this. The odds just went up. I pulled one off. I've demonstrated that it's a 2. Now the odds of the next one being a queen go higher. I pull the next one off, and it's not a queen. Now the odds are 1 in 50. Go halfway through this deck, and we still haven't hit the magic card. Then the magic card's a 1 in 26 at this point, not a 1 in 52. It matters which cards have already been shown to everybody.
I'm aware of that, but and you calculate those if what you're counting is how many outs there are against the 52 card deck.
Yep. And there's outs because you're playing Texas Hold'em, and there they are on the thing. They're also in your hand. You know that in your hand there's a couple of cards that are outed, that you're holding them, and those aren't queens either. If you had one of the queens in your hand, you'd know he only had one chance to get it on the river. But because you don't have any, there's a couple unaccounted for.
So I think this kind of explains what I'm talking about. I may be wrong, though.
I think I just heard push.
Yeah, you did. But the way I do it is the way that the computer does it on ESPN, and the same way that Doyle Brunson talks about calculating the odds. And while I'm willing to admit that there's a possibility it's not as exact, because I understand the quality of using a number smaller than 52 to calculate your odds as the game goes on. But it's difficult to keep count of those cards all the time. And a really simple way to always be able to do it in your head and be within a couple percentage points and make correct decisions, be close enough to make correct decisions, is what I'm saying. I think you multiply 2 times. So if there's 2 outs, you multiply it by 2, and there's a 4% chance of it occurring per draw of the deck.
Okay, and if you can do the x times 2 plus number of outs times 2 divided by 10, if you can do that in your head, the error goes down. Okay, so the error increases?
I don't actually understand this chart very well.
Oh, no, the error does go down. Okay, so there's error built into the way they do it because there's the actual statistical probability of making the river based on all the things that you know, but the way a simple mathematical formula to get close.
And each of those lines going down is with a different amount of outs. So it's 1 outs, 2 outs, 3 outs, 4.
Oh, okay. So he's accounting for how many outs there are.
Yeah, so there's a 2% chance if there's only 1 out of it happening because you're drawing once out of the 52 card deck. It's like 1 out of 50. That's with a 0.17% margin of error, or 8% margin of error.
I guess you account for your own hand too in these outs.
I only count if I was looking for queens and there was and I saw that somebody else discarded a queen, or then I would eliminate that and I would lower the number of outs. But I'm not counting like how many jacks were pulled out, and I'm not quantifying the amount of cards that I know for a fact are already pulled from the deck and are in fact not queens. I don't take the time to do that kind of math because I just don't feel like it's necessary to be that exact. I feel like this is like a rough way to do it.
I'm sure it is. I don't understand the chart very well, and I don't understand the right column of it either. X times 2 plus X times 2 divided by 10.
It's a different formula. So X is how many outs you have.
Huh. I also fear that this doesn't translate well into the audio-only version. But
probably not. But regardless, what happened was there was about a 4 or 5% chance. It's 4%. There's a 4% chance that it would happen, and it happened, and I lost all my money, and it was heartbreaking. But this guy, I still know to this day I made the correct decision. I'd make it 1,000 times in a row, and I'd win most of the time statistically. But this guy's a moron. He fed a machine all of his money. He deserves to lose all of it.
Not a machine. It's called Tubs of Fun. So imagine like a Tupperware bucket mounted on a wall so that the opening was pointing almost flat, but it angles up slightly. Do you follow?
I'm familiar. Yeah, they have these at Six Flags.
Okay. And then what you do is you sort of underhand throw a ball into the tub and make it so that it doesn't bounce out. But the tub is so close to level that like the ball bounces out almost every time. And here's the scam. Let me drop some old man knowledge on you people. What the guy will do, what the carny does, is he takes the ball and he throws it in the bucket. Right? You following me so far? He's close to the bucket, and he can throw it at an angle so that it doesn't bounce straight back out. And he makes it look like it's easy. You with me so far?
Yeah.
Of course you guys are. And then what he does is he hands a ball to you, like as a practice throw, and you throw it in the tub and you make it. Why did you make it? Because there's already his ball in there deadening the tub of fun. So, and then he's like, all right, it's as easy as that. Here you go. And then he gives you like whatever 3 balls to try it or something like that. Each time you throw it without the ball in there deadening the like reflective property of the Tupperware tub, your ball bounces out. And the Tupperware, it's so close to flat. I wonder if I can get a picture of it for the people. Again, on Tubs of Fun. Here we go.
But why would he keep going once he got past like $100?
Once you get past the value of the thing you're trying to win, don't you stop? The Xbox One Connect, which is like $400, $500. Don't you stop?
It looks like I gave a picture to you guys and I put it in the thing too. It looks like you can do that. It's a bucket, almost flat, but not quite flat. It seems like you'd be able to throw it in there.
But he was proven time and time again that he could not.
$2,600 he spent. Well, that's why he's on Painkiller already, because he's stupid. He's stupid. A fool and their money are soon parted.
Was he paying $100 a throw here?
No, I think it's like $10 for 3 balls or something.
He was there for hours.
Yeah, it's like $10 for 3 balls, maybe $5 for 3 balls. Like that's the deal. Like it's something like that.
At some point, maybe to get the Kinect, the Xbox Kinect, you have to like get all 3 in there. And he was getting 1s and 2s.
Really?
And he's I'm making this up. But and he's gathering like stuffed animals along the way or something. And he was eventually he's out his entire life savings, $2,600. And
Oh
that's
yeah,
that.
they didn't say the requirements. So like, yeah, I wonder how many balls he had to get in there to get this thing. Maybe he was getting close every time.
For an Xbox with Kinect, I imagine you've got to be something special.
Like 5 balls maybe.
Yeah, that it could be. But
maybe this guy got a couple of 4s and just couldn't take the pressure.
This guy needs to watch Painkiller already, and I'll teach him what the scoop is. The game is a scam, and it's because of that. All those games are scams.
Either one, this guy carries his entire life savings around with him in cash constantly, or multiple times throughout his endeavor to try to win this Xbox One Kinect, he had to go to the ATM and drain his savings. And at no point in any of those trips did he think, this is kind of dumb.
I don't know how he got that much out of his savings. Like, yeah, I think I can only get like 500 out, and then I'm done.
500 a day. And I had to bump it for that at my bank. Like, it started at like 300.
I don't know. I was learning about all these Carney games. There's the one with the milk bottles.
They're all bullshit, man. You throw those rings trying to get them on the milk bottles. They're all bullshit.
The one where you throw the ball at the milk bottle. This is I'm trying to remember if I have it. I'm either going to get this right or backwards. But what happens is the Carney lines up the milk bottles, and one of them is really heavy. So he puts the heavy one on top, hits the milk bottles, and they all fall easily. Nice. And then it's your turn, and he puts the heavy milk bottle on the bottom, and sure enough, you can never knock that last milk bottle off the table. And that's the deal. You have to knock them off the table, not just knock them to tip over. And you think to yourself you can do it, and the Carney guy does it, yet something's wrong with you. What's wrong with you? He put the milk bottle in a different spot.
Okay, so the hero milk bottle, or at least his hero milk bottle, he always knows this one's the heavy one. This one forms the base when the mark is thrown it, and when I want to show off, I put it on top. Oh.
Exactly. The basketball one, that one's one of the more winnable from what I understand. But
yeah,
the ball is either slightly bigger or heavier, and the rim is bent so that from front to back it's narrower than you're used to. It's not a circle. They smush it from front to back.
That's so shitty. Like, it's not enough that you paid to be there. Like, they can't just come, pay out some prizes.
And then of course it's not like 10 feet high. They make it like 14 feet high. So it's farther and it's smaller.
And something you've never practiced on before.
It's something you've never, but there are people out there with the kind of skill that can land those shots, but that wouldn't be me. Yeah, I have a hard enough time hitting like a regulation foul shot, let alone sinking that monster, like tiny rim, 15-foot, crazy shot.
Right.
Yeah, that's shitty that they do that. I know I've won some stuff at those things before, but
the one I can win.
I pay. I don't think I take it back. Nobody wins. I paid for a stuffed animal one time, and I got to throw some balls.
Yeah. Along those lines, I guess I've won stuffed animals, but the one I used to like to win the most was the goldfish. You'd put I think you'd have a ring in your hand. No, a ping pong ball. A ping pong ball, and there's a bunch of goldfish in little bowls with small openings. And if you can get the ball to land in the opening and not fly out, then you win. And it's like $2 or something to enter. So it usually took me a try or two. Let's say for $2, $4, maybe even $6, I'd get a goldfish. But I happen to know they sell them for like 25 cents as like feeder goldfish if you have like a shark or something that you're trying to feed. And that's all they are. So even if you beat them every time, all you've done is hurt their profit margins, but they're still making a profit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The prize in the goldfish thing is cheaper than the entry fee.
Well, I've seen it done so that you've got like, I don't know, imagine like a kiddie pool that circulates full of like these floating lily pads. And there's the same scenario. You're trying to get the ping pong ball to go into like the bowl, but the bowls have like numbers on them that are assigned to prizes, and some of them are actually decent prizes. But I would imagine that those bowls in particular are like cheated.
Right.
I almost never play the games at places like that because they're bullshit.
Yeah. There's the one where there's the wall of balloons wall of balloons, and you get darts, and you throw, and you break the dart, and you hope that the number behind it is like the big prize, but it never is. It's the shittiest of the shitty prizes.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh man. Carnies, man. They got it down. They got it down, and they'll size you up, and they'll do whatever it takes to get you to walk on by and start handing over your money.
That uneducated, toothless motherfucker has outsmarted
arcades
many
too,
people.
Though. Think about how what a ripoff arcades are. Like they could give you something better than those stupid fucking ticket prizes. Like come on, if I opened an arcade, there'd be prizes worth having. Like if you went in there and you dropped $100, you might get a $25 prize, like a legitimate one, like a cool prize.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you roll up like one of those guys who's got the huge double arm full of tickets because you've been raping skee-ball for 4 hours, man, you should go home with a DVD player at least, right? Like those things are cheap. He's been pumping quarters for hours.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna come back. He's gonna come back. He loves skee-ball. You know he is. Give him a fucking VCR. So give him or a DVD
Happy
player.
customers, the key to a successful business. Which reminds me, it's time to pimp Patreon again.
Yeah, you want to be a happy customer, go to patreon.com/BK.
There you go.
Be a happy customer of Painkiller already.
What do you think is the best bang for your buck Patreon pledge value?
We tried to make them all even in terms of value. I think the ones that will be the most popular are like the $5 tier.
I think $10 is pretty good. $10 you get a good amount.
There they are, so they're in front of you.
I'm looking.
I like the $25 one. I think the $25 one because you get into the RSS feed, the midweek podcast, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So at $5 you get the show early. I think that'll be popular. And then where's Painkiller nearly? Oh, at 25.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's mine.
And that says 30-minute, but there's a milestone that I think we passed, which
that's going to be coming in
to
August.
An hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the milestone. Here's how this works. We want to deliver this stuff like after you pay because there's enough internet trolls out there that they'll just bump this up to $20,000 every month and then back out before the month ends.
And not get paid.
Yeah, like we have to protect ourselves, so we tend to deliver after payment, not before.
Yeah, but the thing to keep in mind is everybody who pays for something's going to get something. So some of you are going to get to come play some games with us. Apparently, that's going to be interesting.
Really? Did that?
Which level is that at? Is that at?
Let's see here.
50?
Oh, no, 500. Two people bought that?
Yep.
All right, just a reminder to everybody if you're a patron.
I know Patreon has done a couple of little weird things and like miscalculated some stuff occasionally. Oh, well then.
They fixed it all. Yeah.
I don't have confirmation, but if I had to guess, then I'd say that two of these gentlemen are going to be playing some video games with us.
That'll be neat.
Whoever they are.
But
just to be completely sure, if you're a patron, make sure to go to patreon.com, sign in, and make sure you are where you want to be. The end of the month is closing up or closing in on us, and we don't want you to be unhappy because you think, oh, I wanted to do this, but it charged me for that. So go make sure
they fix that. Go make sure, but it's fixed.
At the end of the month, when you don't have your ringtone, you're gonna be kicking yourself. So make sure you're there. That ringtone's gonna be fun to do. I'm gonna enjoy that. I think I'm gonna, depending on how many there are. Like I said, I think I might have a half hour of studio time left at a studio in Atlanta. I might go record them there, but I'm definitely going to do a good job at it. I'm gonna set up something so I'm not echoey or anything, and
that's how
I'm gonna have some fun with that.
So I have this. We've talked about this before. There's a lower level tier where you can get like a ringtone or like a custom voicemail, and I have a feeling people are going to want them from Kyle. Like he's just the guy, right? I think they're going to want them from Kyle, and maybe second place Lefty and last place me. But there's another one where they get a custom video where you can like ask the guy a question and have him get back to you or whatever. And I have a feeling that one might be me. And I want to do a really good job. Like I want to knock that one out of the park and give people exactly what they were hoping for. But we'll see. We'll see if anyone buys it. But yeah, and I don't know how I got on that. But Kyle looks looking forward to doing the ringtones. I'm looking forward to doing the custom video. That I want to see.
And if you don't want to do Patreon, if you can't, you say, this is additive stuff. We're not taking anything away and putting it behind a paywall. If you can't, one thing you can do is if you have iTunes, go to the iTunes store, search Painkiller already. Is it not? Is that what it's under? The old branding?
Yep. So I'll double check it, but go on.
Search Painkiller already on the iTunes store and be able to subscribe, or be sure to subscribe to the RSS feed and rate it.
Yeah. It's Painkiller already on the iTunes feed. You'll see it. As we say this, there's a dog as the icon, but someday we'll get that updated. We're just waiting for iTunes to notice that we fixed it.
Yeah, iTunes. I think that's like one of the only things that they actually host is those images, and it just takes forever because they don't host any of the audio, because why would Apple be in charge of that? So it takes forever for that to update. I know I changed the thumbnail on my podcast, Lefty Show on iTunes too, and it took like I think it changed back recently. What the fuck's going on here? I got to see it in the store. So,
ask me anything questions. Some of these are from the Patreon too. This is the first one. What are your plans for the rest of your life, and how do you plan to make them happen? What are you doing today that will take you somewhere in the future, each host? What are your plans for the rest of your life, and how do you plan to make them happen? What are you doing today that will take you there, each host? Well, damn.
I don't have a set plan for the rest of my life.
So here's the thing. You want to go first?
No. Go ahead. This is I got to think.
I think I know my answer here, because I think I prescribe to the notion of living each day, like it's your last, but not in that crazy way where you would just like get naked and run around like pissing on stuff, like not literally like it's the last day, but enjoy every day. And so to do that, you have to enjoy what you're doing. So the plan is just to do what I like to do every day and make that, and sort of make my my vacation my vocation, like Mark Twain said.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't have like, what am I going to do for the next 40 years of my life to get me to retirement? Like, I don't have that planned out, and I don't think I would want to plan that out. Just for me personally, what I like to do. But as of right now, in the near term, I think I could make podcasting or producing podcasts a viable business, and whether it be selling ads against that or selling subscription stuff. And I think investing the time and effort to perfect the craft, and which I am doing. I took Woody's criticism from last week, tightened up the intro to the Lefty Show, and been working on stuff like that. And I think that will be something that can be viable in carrying me for, I don't know, at least a couple of years. There's plenty of people that do it, so why can't I? Why not me too? Also ran.
What about you, Woody?
I'm looking at, let me read the phrasing again. What are your plans for the rest of your life? That's a big question. And how do you plan to make them happen? What are you doing today that will take you somewhere in the future?
That's like 3 questions, by the way.
I know, right?
Pay?
And then each host. So, I don't know. It goes, so let's see. A lot of my plans are about scheduling other people, right? I tend to get my daughter through college and then cast her on her way, marry her off to some dude, or chick. I don't care. Just not me. That's a thing. Colin, total question mark. I had, this is a thought I had today, which tells you what a question mark this is. We still dream of Colin. Colin's smart, but it's hard to succeed in school when he doesn't understand everything you say and when he can't tell you everything he's thinking. But he's not like, aside from his like the communication barrier, he can learn as well as anybody else. He's equivalent to maybe like a Japanese exchange student. Not dumb, just struggling in school right now because he doesn't know the language. So that's where he is. If he doesn't get on course and, go to college and stuff like we dream of him happening, I don't know what happens next, but I had this dream today. What if I bought a sailboat and took like hypothetical 21-year-old Colin sailing across the Atlantic and had some sort of Dad Colin adventure time, and while that's not a plan for life, it would be a thing, you know, that like a shared passion that we went and did a thing. And you think to yourself, but Woody, you don't know how to sail. Well, that's easy to fix. I'll learn how to sail. You get seasick. Well, I was just learning that marijuana fixes seasickness. So I will get high as a kite, grab my son, and sail across the ocean.
That is not at all a recipe for disaster.
You want to come?
Woody, there's a 30-something foot. How long's my boat? Hang on.
Is this the SS YouTube money?
It says Santa Maria on the side.
Your timing's all wrong. He's 11. I'm not going to keep your boat in a slip until he's 21.
Yeah, there's an 1982 San Juan 34-footer down in Florida with your name on it.
Is it really?
$23,500.
Would you say 21.5?
23.5.
23.5. Interested yacht buyers out there. 23.5.
I hope I get rid of that fucking thing. It is the bane of my existence. I should explain why I bought the boat. It's kind of a funny story. So, White Boy and I were looking for an investment. And at the time, the real estate market was really, really bad. This is about 3 years ago. And the investment idea was to sink like, I think it was $50,000 each, but it might have been 25. But I think it was 50. It might have been 25. It was 25. I think it was to sink $25,000 each into a like moderately priced home in Florida that could be kind of a vacation home that we could go to and hang out. You know, like a 2-bedroom, decent thing. And we found one. It was like 3 blocks from the beach. Nice little brick house. It was cool. And the idea was to buy this thing as sort of a vacation house and also as kind of investment. So when the market turned around, we'd sell it.
And more. Well, why Florida?
Why Florida? It was particularly good. The real estate market was particularly good.
Oh,
and
it was a tax thing.
Oh, that too. Also, you don't have to pay state income tax in Florida. So anytime you spend at that residence throughout the year, there was no state income tax paid. So you could get out of like half your state income tax by claiming it as a residence. So it was two-pronged attack. Anyway, last minute, White Boy backs out. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? I'm all geared up for this trip, you know. I'm packed. I got my friends with me. I got my money. What the hell am I gonna do here? So I was like, someone came up with a bright idea of just getting a yacht.
Because you can still establish your residence on a yacht.
On a yacht, if it has certain requirements, and those are sleeping quarters, a bathroom, a kitchen. It has to be certain dimensions. It has to have certain things that a home has, and at that point, it's a residence. So, same thing. You know, you get out of half your state income tax by living in that boat half the year. Anytime you spend in that, no state income tax. And, you know, spend as much time in it as possible, obviously. And so long story short, I sell the thing one time, like 7 miles up the St. John's, parked that motherfucker, went back one more time about a year ago and looked at it, and that's my boating experience. Never have used it. It just my slip fees are like $400 a month. I just want it gone. I just want it gone so bad. Never ever ever buy a boat. Don't buy a boat. Any boat for any reason. Unless you have $5 million to blow, don't buy a $30,000 boat. Don't get a boat. It's just it's burning money.
What's the cliche? Money. If it floats, flies, or fucks, you rent it.
Rent it. And the other one is, you know, the best 2 days about boat ownership or whatever. I'm butchering it, but you know, the day you buy it and the day you sell it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's totally gonna be true because the day I bought it, super jacked, sailed up that river, had a great time. In my boat, motherfucker, take a look at me. And now I'm just like, I wish the meteorite would hit that thing.
Would you tell the story of the sail?
Oh my God. So I'd never been in a sailboat before. Like my boating experience is like nothing. Like it's literally like when I was a kid, I got in a bass boat with a friend for an hour, and then another time I got in my dad's friend's bass boat for 10 minutes. That's my total boating experience up to this point. So we buy the boat, and we have to sail it from the place we bought it from to the place where I'm going to keep it while I'm back home, because obviously I don't live near there. And so we're sailing this thing. My friend is running the sails. He has some sailing experience, but I'm not sure how much at this point. I have none, of course. And he teaches me how to sail. And basically it's like this. You sort of sail in zigzags, shifting the sail from left and right, going left to right. And it's kind of hard to explain, but there's a lot of operating of sails and ropes that has to be done on a fairly regular interval. And the tighter those sails are, the faster you'll go. And the tighter that my steering is, the faster we'll go. It's kind of a racing boat. It's got a racing hull, I'm told. I don't know anything about boats. So we're sailing the 7 miles up the St. John's, but it's a slow fucking boat. I mean, it's a sailboat. And we were coming up on this really tall bridge, and there's only one point in the bridge that you can go under it. There's one, because my mast is like 50-something feet. There's only one place I can go under this bridge, and it's right here, and it's just wide enough for my boat, especially since I've never sailed a boat before, and I'm going to be driving through this little hole. Well,
the guy that knows how to sail, can I use his name?
No.
Okay. He turns out to be quite the sailor. He knows what everything is called. He's working it. And then you see another sailboat.
Then we see the other sailboat coming. And this is not like my sailboat. My sailboat's okay. This boat is like a yacht. This guy has a crew of 3 running his sails, and they're wearing like ascots and like and these little hats. And the captain
matching sail uniforms.
Yes, the captain is wearing like a captain's hat, like a white JFK type hat. Like, he's the fucking captain.
And what's your sailor look like?
Oh, he's a portly fellow. I'm gonna say about 5'8", 5'9", 250 pounds on a good day.
Uh-huh.
Quite out of shape, and slow on his feet. And so he's like, those motherfuckers, they're gaining on us. And then I looked, and they were running their ropes hard, like they were trying to catch us and take the bridge, and they were signaling that they wanted the bridge with their flag or whatever. And I was like, well, let's just slow down, spill this wind out of our sails, let them pass. They signaled it, whatever. He's like, I already signaled and they saw it. And I'm just like, all right, well, fuck it, we're not really sailors here. Let's just let Captain Ahab go on and it'll all be good. He's like, nah, fuck that shit. Fuck him. Fuck him. And he starts he's like, just don't miss in your zigzags or whatever. And I'm like, all right, so because my job is to kind of turn the boat so sharply that it goes almost to the point where it's going to tip over, but it doesn't quite tip over. I'm trying to break as little water as possible. And so I did my part, and he busted his ass so fucking hard running these ropes. Just both hands, move, like no gloves, just like running these big ass fucking ropes as fast as he could. Ropes are squeaking, like ropes are groaning. He's tightening them so tight when he gets to the end of it, just huffing and puffing, sweating. His face is completely scarlet red, and he beat those motherfuckers to that bridge. That boat was running like 14 or 15 knots. I'd never seen it above 8. And those guys were scratching their heads like, what the fuck just happened? Because they were in like a $180,000 boat.
I wish everyone could see him. I can just picture him with his head. It's just his big, fat, cherry red Santa Claus cheeks running the damn ropes, taking the boat up as fast as it would go.
That's as fast as that boat ever went. It was like when this baby hits 88 miles an hour, you're gonna see some serious shit. 14 knots in the water is kind of fast, especially in a sailboat. It was impressive to me at the time, and those guys couldn't catch us, which was funny. They were gaining on us for a long time, and then we like matched their speed, and it was cool to see.
Awesome.
Do we have any more questions from the patrons?
Let me see. Let me cross.
I want to get some advice questions. Let us live your life for you. Let us tell you how to live your life, what to do in a certain situation, because we would never ever steer you wrong, unless it was funny.
A typical day in the life of each of the hosts. Huh.
Today I don't have typical days. All my days are different. But so I'll just tell you what I did today. I couldn't sleep. I woke up at like, I don't know, let's call it 3 in the morning, and went ahead and got up, made myself a scrambled egg sandwich, watched some videos for a while on the internet, messed around on Reddit. Whenever the sun came up, I worked out, took a shower, went and paid all my bills, and went to the pharmacy. Then I went and practiced shooting for a while, set a couple of rifle scopes, talked to my dad for about 2 hours, and then I came back here and took a nap for an hour and a half and got on the show.
I wake up. First thing I do is grab a cup of coffee, cruise Reddit and other news sites looking for stuff for my podcast, and just trying to think about as best the closest approximation I can think of is comedy bits or just routines to kick off the show, just things that I did that I can spin into something larger, and then I do the show. Usually about an hour, a little over an hour, and then I set that to render. I upload, get all the RSS feed stuff done. Then, if I have anything else, any gaming content for YouTube that I had recorded, I edit that and set it to batch render while I work out, and upload in the between. And usually after that, it's time to either go get something to eat. Usually this is around 3-4 o'clock. Get ready to go get some dinner or something, or play some more games or record some stuff.
Like Kyle, I feel like I don't have a typical day. Although even as I just I'll wake up. The first thing I immediately do is check to see if WoodyCraft is running. We restart pretty much every machine between around 2 a.m. and 5:45 a.m. We stagger it. And I just want to make sure that every one of them came up okay, like it was supposed to, etc. If WoodyCraft is running all right, I'll take Hope to school in the morning, and then come back from there and start work. I usually have a little window where I can still talk to my Australian sysadmin and hook up with him. If possible, set him going in some direction, like, hey, here's a thing we need to fix. It feels like every day there's some sort of crisis. Someone has discovered a duplication glitch. Someone has discovered, I don't know, some economy breaking thing, or just recently there were super effective cannons on factions, which made it kind of imbalanced. So we made it so that if you shoot sand at a fort and it goes above a certain limit, then it doesn't land as sand to fix a certain kind of corner cannon. I could go on, but typically there's something about WoodyCraft that needs to be adjusted, and I'll want to set him in that direction and assign him his top priority. Then there's new stuff. We talked to developers. I've got 3 games in progress going right now. I've got a new website, 2 new websites coming online. We're talking about opening another game that's not Minecraft, and just sort of expanding the gaming server enterprise that I've got started, and that sort of thing. It seems like every day there's bills to pay or people to pay, and that takes a little bit of time. I'll cruise Reddit. I look for topics for Painkiller already throughout the week. To stay on top of that, I look at the Patreon a couple times a day just to see if anyone's hazing us or whatever. I'm under attack. It feels like remember Dana White one time was like, every day I wake up and there's bad news. I just wake up and deal with shit every day, all day. And that's kind of how I feel too. Every day, there could be a dupe glitch, there could be a DDoS attack, there could be something. Recently, one of the other
problems that the Star Trek Enterprise would encounter.
Recently, one of the other server owners wrote me and said that there was a guy who had the ability to corrupt any world. It's so I preemptively banned him and every username that he's ever used so that he can't get on our server anymore. I hope, that kind of thing. Protect myself against some sort of hackers and attackers. I'm trying to think. Yesterday we had a bad network cable on one of our machines. A couple days ago we had a bad network cable again. I have this idea that my data center takes these freaking network cables and they're like, well, this one sucks, and they put it in a pile. And then they grab from that pile as they replace. Here, I'll grab this one. I'm like, I need a cable that's known good. Take it out of the wrapping and use that one. So it just seems like every day it's kind of whack-a-mole with issues. It's a mix between whack-a-mole with issues and planning new things like websites, our next game mode for Minecraft, our next game mode that's not Minecraft, and our next website, things like that, and paying people. And if it's Friday, I try to make a video. I try to make a video every Friday, and I haven't done it in weeks. But that's the idea. PKA Plays actually isn't too time-consuming. On Sundays, we typically play that. And then I'll have whatever, like 3 or 4 videos to upload. I still have my last one to upload.
I want to see your new video series, Thunder Calves with Woody's Gamertag.
Where I strap on a backpack and do walks like wings.
Yes.
I wonder if people would want that. But yeah, that's my day. I feel like that was all WoodyCraft centric, but I guess that's kind of the life I live now.
Yeah, they're like, what do you have for lunch?
Lunch, like, I swear I just keep working and it gets delivered by the door. Like, Jackie will just show up, put food in front of me, and I sort of eat and type at the same time, and dinner works the same way. Like a prisoner. Yeah.
They let the slaves go to like back to the slave house to eat.
I enjoy it though. Like I'm kind of proud of what we've got going on at WoodyCraft. It makes me feel good about me. Like I did something that not everyone can do. And so there's some enjoyment in that. Well,
you got me to enjoy Minecraft, which was pretty impressive.
Thanks. Yeah, that game mode, survival game, is one of our most popular. It's running like a top right now. It was real popular, and I had like $4,000 worth of CPUs overnighted into the data center so that we could handle all the capacity. We've got like 32 cores running all those things. It's insane. But now that it runs great, so. Yeah, I don't know. There's expenses, but it's exciting too, to me.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it sounded like a WoodyCraft advertisement. It wasn't. It was more of a bitch session. All day, every day. Playing.
Can I talk for 10-20 minutes about how I do the Lefty Show, which you can find on iTunes too?
Oh my God, you and your pimping.
Can I do that?
WoodyCraft doesn't compete with this podcast.
The Lefty Show doesn't compete with this podcast either. People find time for both.
Sure it does. I mean, it's in the same bracket. It competes.
Yeah, they're in the same fucking category.
I was there first. Or, well, you were there first, but then you abandoned it, and I took up the cause. You guys get out. You guys go to education or something. Let's go to education.
All right.
Let's take this show to education or weather or what else? What other
I don't even know what the other ones are.
Games and hobbies.
Games and hobbies?
What the fuck do people talk about in games and hobbies? Who could really be doing that? Oh shit, an NPR show. Never mind.
Have you ever heard of The Moth as a podcast? Speaking of competing podcasts.
No.
They tell stories. They're good. I like them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've been watching YouTube videos of like storytelling sessions, and those are really good.
I spent like a whole night watching bullies get beat up. It's my favorite corner of YouTube.
I told you. You'd like it.
It's so wonderful. And dude, I sit there and I really analyze it. Usually there's like some one big punch or a combo, and it's the loser's footwork almost every time. These guys sit there with their feet like in a straight line to their opponent's shoulders to where they can't go backwards anymore. That's the reason Weidman knocked out Silva. It's the reason half of these bullies lose. It's not their head movement. They try to move their head, but then they get caught because they can't take a step back because their footwork is dreadful. You watch any bully video, and I almost guarantee you the guy that gets knocked out has his feet squarely underneath his shoulders, and he's square against his opponent, and he's just begging for that knockout. Oh my God. I would get into a fight every day if my opponent promised to use that footwork. It'd be no problem whatsoever.
Woody would proudly beat up middle school bullies to every single day if they had shitty
I would like that.
Footwork.
I wish that was a service that I would ditch WoodyCraft if beating up middle school bullies was a viable career. If I could just take this motherfucker right here, oh, yeah, he's really tough. He's got a beard and everything. Right, he's adorable. I got this.
You ever see that scene in Bad Santa where Billy Bob Thornton beats that kid's ass?
No.
No.
So on the subreddit they were requesting some sort of Kyle's like movie club, and that sounds really complicated, but Bad Santa is on Netflix Instant right now. Go watch Bad Santa with Billy Bob Thornton. It's excellent. It's excellent.
Really?
And, there's a part where he beats up a child with his fists for bullying another child, and it's great.
Oh, that's the best reason to beat up somebody.
He's an alcoholic Santa who robs malls with the help of his midget accomplice. Yeah. John Ritter's in it. He plays like the mall manager or something like that, and Bernie Mac's in it. He's like the mall security guard. It's really good.
Oh, that's cool. Is it a movie you can watch outside of Christmas, or do you want to watch it around Christmas?
Yeah, you don't need it's not a holiday movie. It's rated very R. There's
Really?
one scene where Billy Bob Thornton, he's the mall Santa, but he's an alcoholic and he's always pissing himself and stuff. And he has a fetish for like big and tall women. And John Ritter like is walking by the big and tall women's dressing room and like hears some noises. And when he goes back there, Billy Bob Thornton is fucking some fat lady in the ass in the dressing room.
Now, how can you tell it's in the ass?
I'm getting there because she's moaning really loud, and you can like see their feet and like how their feet are positioned. And he says, "quote You ain't gonna shit right for a week."
Oh boy!
And so then like John Ritter has to go to Bernie Mac's character, and he has to explain this thing, and he's like, and he said, "You ain't gonna shit right for a week." And Bernie Mac's like, anal fornication, big and tall women. I don't know about all this. And it's great. Like the midget is totally like a good crook, and he's trying to stay under the radar because he plays Santa's elf. Like that's how they infiltrate the malls. And they on Christmas Eve every year they rob a different like major shopping mall because they've got all that cash, from the Christmas shopping season piled up in the vault. So that's the premise of the movie. It's really good, and he's just a dark motherfucker. Like he's just super depressed, alcoholic. Great, it's great though. Great movie. Watch that.
Bad Santa, huh?
Bad Santa.
Huh.
It's got this little kid in it. It's a really funny movie. It's one of my favorite Billy Bob Thornton movies for sure.
I saw this question and I didn't immediately have. What's your favorite PKA moment?
I thought it was pretty cool when Wing smashed that door that time.
That's a good one.
That was nice.
You know what I really enjoyed? I maybe I'm getting nostalgic over this one episode, but when PKA Dan came on and told us about his now ex-wife and the Facebook affair thing that she had, and then in particular, the moment was when we were trying to convince him to go to release that cop's details and ruin his life. That personifies the justice that PKA is all about. I'd have done it.
We didn't do that though, did we?
We didn't. We should have. We should have made him famous.
I don't know.
Dan, if you're watching this, it's still a service I offer. I swear to God, I will put that guy's shit on the internet. Fuck that guy. That guy knew she was married, and he's married.
Yeah, he's married.
Dan has 4 daughters. 4 daughters. And he broke up that marriage. Now Dan's in a better spot, whatever. But fuck that guy. He didn't care that Jen was a bitch. He just wanted to see her boobies. Yeah, no. That's PKA justice, baby. We've released many a phone number. If you want to crank call us or whatever, your phone number's coming out. It's how we do business around here. And if Dan ever changes his mind and wants to put that cop's details out on the internet, it's a service I provide. That still, even though he said no, I like to think that that was such a great episode, and if I could pick a moment from it, trying to talk him into getting his justice was one of my favorites.
All right, that was a pretty good one, I guess. Looking back, I think I'm not sure if we should have done it or not. I think we should.
Let me help you. We should have abso-fucking-lutely done it. The guy's terrible.
Yeah, you're right. He knew what he was doing.
He's
I had forgotten some of the details.
he knew what he was doing, you know, and yeah. And I don't know. The Jen was more attached to him than Dan, and she never even met him in real life, as far as we know. Yeah. Anyway, Lefty, favorite PK moment?
It's like a single moment, not like a show. Single moment.
Mm-hmm. That's what the question was. Favorite PKA moment.
Oh, there's been a few things that almost had many people laughing hysterically, almost in tears. It's got to be Left to Right.
Another Wings moment, left to right, who would bang Jackie?
Yeah, and it's just it was funny because it was completely foreign to him, the notion that like
the inappropriateness of it.
That it was inappropriate. And that was, to me, the funniest part. That was the hilarity of the whole bit.
Yeah, that was pretty
like, what was wrong? What's wrong with that? We're like, no, you don't understand. Like, yeah, that was really good.
All right.
Should we wrap the show there?
Yeah, I gotta pee really bad, and I've been holding it because I didn't want to abandon you too.
I blame Joe Lozon. All right.
All right, PK, what is it, 189?
189.
Patreon.com/PK.
Check out our sponsors, description. Bye-bye.
Yep. Good night, guys.